as well, and it's one of those ones that is a shot to nothing. You know, the expectation is low, so it's at the home ground. The place is absolutely buzzing. There's a great atmosphere around this stadium. It's brilliant to see it full and like this. And if they put any sort of combinations together, they will create chances. The problem for Charlton is they've not scored enough goals this season, and they need to do something about that.
Charlton Athletic Football Club have really gone to town, you have to say, on the pre-match entertainment tonight. Fantastic build-up to the entrance of the two teams. When they finally arrived, the fireworks eventually went from orange to red, and these giant puffy clouds of red smoke were drifting around the stadium, and some of it still sort of floating in the chilly night air right now. The tallest stand is away to our left, the two-tiered covered end, packed full of home fans, pretty much red and white everywhere you can see, apart from this pocket of blue and white away to our right. Chelsea, 8 times FA Cup winners. Pat, their record, right, in this competition, but particularly against teams from divisions below them and in the third round. Let me throw a couple of stats at you very quickly. Chelsea have only lost twice in the third round in the last 32 seasons, and they've gone through in 61 of the last 63 ties against lower league opposition. They are extremely competent performers in this competition.
And remember, there was a long period of time that Chelsea Football Club felt as if they were spending as much time at Wembley as they were spending at Stamford Bridge. They were there that often. So yeah, it's important to them. They need to win trophies, and every manager that comes is expected to do that. Maresco had 2 last season, and I'm sure Rosenior would love to get his hands on any trophy this season. Maybe this is arguably the best chance, because although in the semi-final of the League Cup, it is Arsenal home and away.
Yeah, you wonder whether that fixture as well, first leg at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday night, has played a little part in this team selection, and of course the extremely busy fixture period ahead of this game. We're just about ready to go. Referee Christopher Kavanagh, all in black. Magical day in the FA Cup, one of the most momentous upsets ever. You heard it, full commentary of it, kicked off at 12:15 earlier on today. 6th-tier Macclesfield knocking out the holders, Crystal Palace. The biggest ever gap in placings in the league ladder between two teams in terms of a giant killing. This is underway. This is Charlton of the Championship, sitting 19th in the table right now, just 1 win in their last 11 games in the league. And Chelsea, 8th in the Premier League, but I think most pertinently, a new regime. 41-year-old Liam Rosenior gets his chance, his dream shot at managing Chelsea, and the first game is just underway. And Chelsea are in the familiar blue and white, Charlton in the red shirts, white shorts and red socks, and they will attack from left to right in this first half towards the Jimmy Seed stand. They've had to make a change in goal. I'll give you their full starting 11 in just a second. At the moment, it's all Chelsea possession. Badiashile is passing back towards Tosin here. It's going to go across towards Acheampong possibly. No, comes back to Badiashile, who's just inside his own half in the inside left channel, drawing in one of those Charlton attackers towards him. That was Sonny Carey, who's back in this Charlton team tonight. Wide it goes on the right-hand side for Chelsea, and back it comes again to Tosin, who finds Badiashile. Fantastic noise inside the Valley. Home fans have been looking forward to this one ever since the draw was made. The two teams.
First, as we always do, the Good Hands play presented by Allstate. And who else would it be? Lucas Carnero, in an all-time gamer and an all-time kick. Ole Miss comes back against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, again, in an all-time classic for the Rebels' dream postseason to continue. They take down the Dogs, and they are on their way to the college football playoff.
Those breaks, and it's Charlie Kelman on the left-hand side who's immediately tackled. So Chelsea turn and try and attack. Gittins has lost it. Here come Charlton, first proper attack of the evening for them. Amari Bell's got in a good position. Here's Tyrese Campbell, crosses into the near post. Santos has it covered for Chelsea, nips in and knocks the ball behind for the first corner of the game. It goes to the home team, Charlton.
Charlie Kelman's right in there, wasn't he? The ball was played to the front post. He was getting there as quick as he possibly could. Chelsea couldn't take any chances, and that's the first time they get the ball. Charlton have moved it well up the left-hand side and have won a corner.
Charlie Kelman alongside Miles Leeburn up front for Charlton. You'll recognise that surname connected to Charlton Football Club. Miles, the son of Carl Leeburn, who played almost 350 times for Charlton, scored plenty of goals too. Corner comes in towards the back post. Jorgensen opts to punch it. It goes straight up in the air. Chelsea haven't got this clear yet. Couple of headers. It bounces back towards Jorgensen, who grabs it cleanly, rushes to the edge of his penalty area, and then holds on to it for a second pass.
Just noticing recently, obviously, corner kicks and free kicks have become so important in the game, in the Premier League. But that one whipped in right to the goalkeeper. They had to punch it. There was dangerous ball in there with good pace.
Harto was getting away down the left-hand side for Chelsea. Stopped in his tracks. Leeburn is there. Sliding challenge from Santos. And the ball goes out for the Charlton throw. 3.5 minutes in. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 18th third round FA Cup tie of the day. 4th commentary in succession on the network. Charlton 0, Chelsea 0. Guiu rushes in to block a clearance, and it goes out for a Charlton throw in the right back position. So they've had to make this change in goal because Thomas Kaminski, the Belgian, is the regular goalkeeper, and he is not involved this evening. So Will Mannion is making only his 2nd appearance of the season. Keenan Goff is playing in Charlton's back 3. He's a 19-year-old making only his 2nd start for the club. And here's Miles Leeburn, and Badiashile has to haul into the ground to stop him getting away down the right. He gets an early yellow card. Charlton get the free kick.
We were talking before the game about, the sending-offs, the bookings. I mean, just the general discipline. And I've not thought it's been that big a problem with Chelsea, although they've had a few sending-offs. However, against Fulham, it absolutely was. The sending off of Cucurella is bad enough, but the lack of discipline after that for the players was poor. This time, Badiashile gets himself not in a great position, holds him down there, and now he finds himself walking a tightrope for the rest of the game.
So Badiashile booked. Here comes the Charlton free kick. We're coming from the right. James Bree, once played under Nathan Jones, the Charlton boss at Luton, currently on loan from Southampton. With his right foot goes high and long. It is kept in play and nodded back towards the edge of the penalty area. No, the assistant referee has the flag up and said that ball went behind. So that'll be a goal kick Chelsea. So yes, Keenan Goff, the 19-year-old, only his 2nd start for the club, has only made his debut in the first team this season, alongside Lloyd Jones, crucial player in the heart of that 3-man back line, and Amari Bell. James Bree on the right. So when they drop back into the 5 that Pat was talking about, that'll be James Bree and Tyrese Campbell who'll drop back. Connor Coventry in central midfield, the former West Ham man in front of them. Greg Doherty, the captain, and Sonny Carey have come back into the starting lineup for this one. And then it's the American Charlie Kellman alongside Miles Leeburn up front. Ball is played back on the right here. Cross comes in to the edge of the area. Toss in stretches. Heads the ball away. There's Bell for Charlton. Good spell of pressure from the Championship team here. Campbell's cross. That looks too close to Jorgensen. It is. The goalkeeper makes a clean catch. Charlton 0, Chelsea 0.
Does look a wee bit shaky in that back line for Chelsea just now. I mean, they're just getting used to playing with each other because the back line changes with Chelsea a lot as time goes past, but at the moment still looking a bit shaky in there.
Harto brings it forward for Chelsea. Andre Santos in midfield, receives and quickly plays it on to Caicedo. Back to Santos, forward there to Harto, and back to Badiashile again. And Chelsea will be patient and slow and methodical in this build-up at the moment, just knocking passes around. Back to the halfway line and Tosin. Tosin goes to his right to Achimpong, who has been an impressive performer when he's got his chance in the first team this season. Santos on the turn, straight ball forward, run made across the back line there by Buonanotte. Again, rare opportunity for him to impress in the Chelsea first team this season, and they've worked it to the right to Achimpong. He goes further to the right-hand side. Gittins on a little dribble, tries to beat his man, crosses into the near post, spilled by the goalkeeper Mannion, and Charlton get lucky because it falls to one of their players. They're able to whack it away up towards the halfway line, and Tosin is there.
Yeah, hard one to deal with. It was spilled by Mannion though, but the ball was zipped at real pace from pretty close.
Mannion comes out this time to catch a forward ball from the Chelsea midfield and does that comfortably, holds on to it and waves his defenders forward. So in the 5:45 kickoffs in the third round this evening, Spurs are out of the FA Cup, beaten at home 2-1 by Aston Villa. Some unseemly scenes towards the end of that game. Turned into a big melee. More reaction in half-time of this one. Charlton 0, Chelsea 0 right now. Western-super-Mare couldn't quite match Macclesfield. They're from the National League South. They lost 3-2 at Grimsby. Cambridge United put up a good fight at home against Birmingham, but they went down 3-2. And Bristol City thumped Watford in the All-Championship clash at Ashton Gate. Chelsea possession again. Lots of it in the early stages. Caicedo immediately gives the ball back to Tosin. Cole Palmer not involved at all tonight, and nor is Reece James, possibly with Wednesday night's first leg of the League Cup semi-final against Arsenal in mind. Guiu can't hold on to the forward ball. It comes through to the Charlton keeper, Mannion, who's got that giant two-tiered covered end behind him. Leeburn wins the first header inside the Chelsea half. It goes back down the right there. Garnacho makes the block, and that will go out for a throw-in to Charlton. We have slightly unusual commentary seats. I remember these from a while ago here. You sort of have to lock yourself in. It's a fold-up tabletop. So you sit down in your seat and then you lift the tabletop up and close it down over your legs. And once you're in, Pat, you're in.
Something way back into school days about these.
Definitely. Here's Campbell on the left for Charlton. Ball's broken to him nicely. He tries to beat Action Pong, shoots, slices it badly, and it goes behind for the Chelsea goal kick. And the other thing is, 5 yards and in from the touchline just beneath us in our commentary position here. I can't actually see sitting down. I've stood up a couple of times, and one irate Charlton fan has told me I better not do that again.
Yeah. Maybe they should have sent John Murray. Yeah. And somebody else taller from... Yes. By the way, the guy behind you, he's standing up and just blocking everybody else now. A problem for everyone here. But, they've had to stop the play here. See what the problem is.
Nathan Jones, I can see, is barking instructions down there on the touchline. Liam Rosenior is already calling a few of the Chelsea players over to get some early instructions onto the field. One of those is Mark Guiu, the centre forward. Another one is Garnacho. Jarell Harto is there as well. And what is the stoppage all about here, Pat? Because both sets of players...
nothing obvious.
No.
There's no player down. The referee seems perfectly happy with his situation, just standing there in the middle of the field.
Medical emergency in the stands. I wondered whether it might be that, because Pat is absolutely right. Both sets of players have just come over to the touchline here. They are trying to keep themselves warm. They're receiving instructions, and immediately we can see Liam Rosenior at work straight away here, Pat, because he's directly beneath our commentary position here, and he's holding his arms out wide with one forefinger aloft on each hand, and he's sort of trying to talk Chelsea through about what he thinks of the first 10 minutes or so. And
ক্লায়েন্ট রাজি হয়েছে, তুমি আসতে পারবে তো সময়ের মধ্যে?
এত চিন্তা করো না, আমাদের অনেক সময় আছে।
তুমি এখানে কিভাবে এলে?
আমি লিফট করে আসলাম অত্যাশ্চর্য হিরো এক্সট্রিম 125R এর সাথে। আপনার দিনটিকে দুর্দান্তভাবে উপভোগ করুন।
That faces Brentford in the Premier League after that. So in terms of trying to get his message across to this group of players, I suppose you just take it game by game.
But the one thing I can say, that the way Chelsea played system-wise is exactly the same. So they set up as a back four, but then one of the full-backs, either left full-back, right full-back, he goes into midfield, pushes everybody on, it becomes a back three. Those three at the back go very, very wide to try and play it out from there. It's very, very similar to what Chelsea have been doing before, and a number of other teams do. Liverpool famously do that sort of thing as well. So they're not asking these players to do something they don't know and they're not used to. So there's no real change there. There'll be subtle changes, just subtle technical changes, but not anything that the players won't worry about. If I would say one thing that I spotted early on, I don't know if Chelsea's staff down there, because they had their laptops out very, very quickly. Badiasho's been caught once and he couldn't get back in time, and because he was wide, he's a centre back at heart, but he's having to play almost as a left back. That doesn't suit certain centre halves, specifically his type of centre half. Now he's been caught out once, he's got himself in the book, and it's, looking forward, if he can try to get himself into this team, it's going to be difficult, because that's not suited unless he's the central one of that back three.
Well, it's a bitingly cold January night here. FA Cup third round action. Both sets of players just staying warm at the moment by passing balls around between them in each half of the field. We have a medical emergency at the Valley at the moment, and I'll just repeat The big screen up away to my right is telling everyone inside the stadium exactly that. So obviously worried faces and concern, and everyone hoping for the best here. Message says at the bottom, we thank you for your patience. I'll hand you back to James Gregg in the studio for now, and we'll be back here at the Valley when the football gets back underway. But about just over 10 minutes played. James, it's Charlton 0, Chelsea 0.
OK, Ali and Pat, thank you for the moment. We will get back to the Valley as soon as we can. We obviously don't want to speculate on what that medical emergency is. We do wish whoever is involved well in that, and hopefully we can get that game of football back going as well. We'll keep you across that here on 5 Live, but what a cracker of a Saturday so far in this FA Cup third round. The main headline really has to be the biggest Cup upset ever. Macclesfield knocking out the holders, Crystal Palace 2-1. That was a captivating watch at lunchtime. We'll run you through some of the other scores as well. We do have some rugby as well going on this evening over on Sports Extra and on Sports Extra 2. I'll tell you about how both of those matches are going shortly from Rugby Union's Champions Cup. But let's run through the scores then. So Cheltenham Town 0, Leicester City 2. Robin Roos was the hero as Sunderland held Everton to a draw and then beat them in a penalty shootout 3-0. Saved 3 straight penalties there, did the Sunderland keeper. Like I said, Macclesfield 2, Crystal Palace 1. Wolves with a much needed victory over Shrewsbury Town, and a big one too, 6-1. It finished at Molineux. There was a big win as well for Burton Albion away at Boreham Wood. They won 5-0, so they're in the hat for the 4th round, are Burton Albion. Burnley 5, Millwall 1. Doncaster Rovers 2, Southampton 3 in what was a thriller at the Keepmoat Stadium. Fulham 3, Middlesbrough 1. That was at full time at Craven Cottage. Ipswich 2, Blackpool 1. Manchester City 10, Exeter City 0. Newcastle United 3, Bournemouth 3. Newcastle won that one in penalties. We'll run through the rest of the scores at half time, but we can go back to the Valley with Pat Nevin and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, James. The game is back underway, and Chelsea are attacking down the inside right channel. Buonanotte has made good ground to the edge of the box. Cross into Harto, and the header was looping towards the far corner. Mannion, though, was able to leap and clutch it and make the save. It didn't quite have the loft or the power that it needed to beat the keeper.
Yeah, but a lovely piece of play by Buonanotte. You know, he's a lovely player to watch. You give him any space at all, and he will create something. Problem is, he found the wrong guy. If he'd have given it to Gear, that would have been in the back of the net. And good play from Chelsea. And for those listeners who have anyone down here and are worried, we saw the gentleman being escorted away, and he looks okay. A gentleman of a certain age, but he was waving to the crowd saying, I think I'll be okay. Yeah,
he was wheeled away on a stretcher down the touchline, right in front of the 2 dugouts. And as Pat says, he did put his thumb up and react and got the applause.
And got a great applause.
He did. So hopefully all's well that ends well there. Charlton have some defending to do. Gittins with a dribble and a shot straight at Mannion, punches the ball away, and Tyrese Campbell taking no chances there, knocks it straight behind for the Chelsea corner. So 16 minutes played on the stopwatch, but obviously a few of those minutes we didn't have any play at all. There's going to be plenty of added time at the end of the first half. Charlton 0, Chelsea 0 in Liam Rossinia's first game in charge of Chelsea. He's taken over at the start of a very busy month. Arsenal at home on Wednesday in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final. First Premier League game at home to Brentford after that. Then it'll be Champions League action after that. Corner comes into the near post. Nodded behind again, this time by Leeburn for Charlton. So that'll be another corner for Chelsea. They're in the blue shirts, white numbers on their backs, blue shorts and white socks. And Buonanotte is standing over there. Achimpong is about 7-8 yards away, directly in front of him, standing along the byline there. There's another option back to Gittins down the touchline. Both of them move away. In fact, all the Chelsea players go jogging into the penalty area now. The corner comes in again towards the near post. Leeburn heads it away again, only as far as Buonanotte. Controls it back to Gittins. Here's Caicedo, 25 yards out. Gives the ball back to Gittins. Caicedo again, low cross into the penalty area, knocked down to the edge of the box, and Leeburn is there just to hoof it away with his right foot. Chased by Kelman all the way back into that Chelsea half. Harto had a good 5-6 yards on him, easily beat him to the ball, and Chelsea are able to play out from the back. Chelsea 0-0 here against Charlton at the Valley. Fantastic atmosphere inside this stadium.
There has been, and interesting to know what Liam Rossinia must have said to his players, because since we've started, Chelsea have been different completely. Made a couple of chances, particularly down that right-hand side, got a couple of corner kicks as well. And there's a little bit more urgency to the player, more zip to their passing.
Here's Garnacho. Garnacho finds Andre Santos. Caicedo makes himself available. He's 10 yards inside the Charlton half. Achimpong supports from centre-back. Goes wide here to Gittins. He drags the ball under the studs of his right boot. Crosses in. It's nodded down. Santos chests it down and then skews the shot wide. Guiu tried to get a touch on that as it went through the box, trying to divert it on target. Didn't get that touch, and it's gone behind for the Charlton goal kick.
Looks like it's set up this sort of way now, isn't it? Chelsea, when they get the ball, they're actually getting through their faces quite quickly now and getting into that final third fairly easily. And they're making half chances and no massive clear-cut chances, but they're getting into good, really good positions. And that's given Santos a chance to go a little bit further. Buonanotti's beginning to find a little bit of space there. So somehow Charlton have to hold that ball up in the final third and get a little bit involved in the play this side.
Charlton 0, Chelsea 0. Achimpong is brought down just inside his own half by Sonny Carey. Chelsea thought about going quickly with the free kick. Kelman spotted that and just ran in front of the ball to delay that. Chelsea not too bothered. Get play back underway again. All the highlights you can watch from the FA Cup third round match of the day tonight. BBC One at 10:40. So that's not going to be too long after this game is finished, particularly if it goes to extra time and penalties, as a couple have today in the FA Cup. And then Pat mentioned John Murray in the commentary earlier on, back in FA Cup action for 5 Live tomorrow. Derby Leeds. We are on air with 5 Live Sport from 11:30 tomorrow. Our first commentary from the FA Cup is Derby Leeds, and then at 2 o'clock we're at Fratton Park. There'll be another great atmosphere there for the FA Cup.
নিরাপদ ও সহজে উপবৃত্তির টাকা পেতে আজই আপনার বিকাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট সন্তানের স্কুলে রেজিস্টার করুন।
This game?
Yeah, this is the 31st game of the season for Chelsea, and in the 30 so far, Gittins has appeared in 22 of them, but only made 10 starts. The nod down here from Tosin finds Caicedo. So Charlton are really struggling to get out at the moment. Those men in the red shirts drop into their defensive shape. Caicedo calmly walks forward with the ball, plays it to Achimpong on the right, and Chelsea are just going to take their time and just probe for the weakness and the spaces. Badiashile with his left foot, cross to Garnacho. Bree steps in, wins it for Charlton, turns inside his own half, plays back here, and the ball is cleared. Intercepted by Badiashile. That wasn't the best touch there. Little 1-2 between Kelman and Carey. Carey still brings it forward, and Caicedo got a crucial touch for Chelsea. Stayed with his man, put his foot on the ball, and they've come back to the goalkeeper, Jorgensen.
We were watching him run away there, and you knew that it was that man behind him, Caicedo. You kind of knew, didn't you? He was going to get the tackle in. It was probably going to be clean as well. Very, very good defending from a defensive midfielder.
Chelsea working the ball smoothly up the pitch. We've played almost half of the first half here at the Valley. Last FA Cup third round tie of the night. No 6:06 after this one. Too late in the night for that, but 6:06 on tomorrow with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage at 5 o'clock, a slightly earlier time. Note that, taking your calls on the FA Cup third round action and anything else you want to talk about. Macclesfield fans, I know you're going to have to wait. I know you may have sore heads, but definitely give the show a call tomorrow, particularly if you were there. It was an incredible listen on 5 Live earlier on today, and a quite incredible FA Cup victory. Caicedo and Santos exchanging passes again for Chelsea. It comes across to Achimpong. Tall, angular figure. Low pass from him to Gittins. Comes creeping in from the right. Looks for the 1-2 with Caicedo, who just chips the ball up in the air. Charlton have half cleared. Then it's thumped away. Up it goes. Chased back by Badiashile. Lets that bounce. Lee Byrne pounces, nods it forward, but Tosin read it. Gets there first for Chelsea and passes back to his goalkeeper, Jorgensen.
Shades of his father there, I think.
Yeah.
Down there, waving through there. tall, rangy, very, very strong, and once again a difficult time for Badia Shield. Lets the ball bounce there. You can't take a chance to do that in that situation. And just a few moments ago, he gave the ball away in a fairly dangerous situation. And as I was talking before about, there's no chance there, thinking that Badia Shield should be the more central. He shouldn't be getting dragged out left. Look at where he's gone now. Badia Shield's moved. I think the manager agrees with me.
Yes, you're right. Tosin on the left, Badia Shield to his right. Tosin steps in, wins a header, nods it down to Santos and Caicedo.
Well, they've moved back, actually. They've moved back now.
It's very noticeable, that midfield partnership as well, Pat. They almost see a string between the two, between Santos and Caicedo.
Yeah, Santos is a really nice player. We always talk about Douglas Fernandez and Caicedo because of the cost, both over 100 million. However, Santos is an extremely capable player and will only get better because he's young.
Yeah, 21 years old, the Brazilian, who has been on loan to Strasbourg, so Liam Rossignol knows him extremely well for the last 18 months. Now he's his manager at Chelsea. Caicedo curls a pass out to Gittins, seeing plenty of the ball in this first half. Confidently, just stands on it with his right foot. Back it comes to Buonanotte, who's popped up in a pocket of space wide on the right. He plays back into the middle of the Charlton half to Tosin. Tosin rolls a pass to his right to Caicedo. He opens play up again to the right, and Gittins might have another little run at Campbell. Support from Achimpong on the outside. Campbell did well, read that, stepped in, intercepted. Caicedo blocks his clearance forward. Can he keep the ball in play? Not quite on the far side of the field to us. So that will go out for a throw in to Charlton. It is Charlton 0, Chelsea 0, with 25 minutes played in the first half.
Yeah, and Charlton have got a throw in there midway through their own half, and they're just delighted to get a throw in, to get a touch of the ball, to hold it on for 2 or 3 passes, because they just can't get a hold of it. And you put 4 or 5 together, and generally as soon as they lump it long, they don't win it. And as I say, that exactly that happens. They're under pressure again.
Bell turns, plays the ball up the left-hand side to Campbell. Back it comes into the midfield, forward to Lieburn, just a bit heavy with that first touch, trying to find Campbell. And his run down the left-hand side, so that has gone out for a Chelsea throw. Just looking at that Jimmy Seed stand away to our right. Famous manager of Charlton back in the day, in charge of them when they won the FA Cup for the only time in their history, back in 1947. Garnacho speeding in from the left for Chelsea. Finds Buonanotte in a central position. Santos thought about a first-time shot, goes for the pass instead to Harto. Santos across to Caicedo. Santos again, no one wants to take that shot, and Charlton have numbers back. Tosin brings it forward, he'll hit it well over the crossbar. You could tell by the roars from the Charlton fans, and that will go behind for the Charlton goal kick. And by the way, Pat, just on that 1947 FA Cup win for Charlton, I was digging around in my FA Cup history. It was 1-0 on the day, and the winner was scored by a Scottish winger.
As all the best goals are.
Called Chris Duffy. And that was Charlton's FA Cup win in 1947. They have been quarter-finalists 4 times since then. The last time back in 2014, when as a championship team they actually lost to League One Sheffield United, and Chelsea's manager Liam Rossignol played in the FA Cup final that year because it was Steve Bruce's Hull City that went through to face Arsenal and eventually lost 3-2 in extra time. The ball's gone out for a Charlton throw on the left, and they're just trying to find a footing, aren't they, Pat, somehow in this game?
I think they should be probably delighted, getting towards the half-hour mark, and they're still 0-0, but they're creating very little. They had just before, they had the break in play, there were a few moves down the left-hand side. They were getting down there dangerously, Charlton were, but since then, very limited amounts. But that's the idea, try and survive until you get your half chance now and again.
Miles Lieburn, powerful young striker. Chelsea defenders breathing down his neck. He's done well for Charlton. Finds Bree. Bree plays back to the 19-year-old Keenan Goff. What a night for him. Only his 4th appearance for the club. Only his 2nd start. Made his debut earlier this season up against Chelsea in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. The ball comes all the way back to one of the key men for Charlton, centre-back Lloyd Jones, once of Liverpool. Goalkeeper Mannion, only his 2nd appearance of the season. Lieburn wins the header, but it goes back into his own half. Buonanotte stumbles. Charlton there first. It comes out to Bree on the right. He does well. Hooks a left-footed pass infield. Carey chests it down, turns, then gives it away. Buonanotte lets it run across his body, plays forward to the centre forward Guillou. Not enough pace on that pass for Gittins, so Gittins has to stop and wait for it. Buonanotte comes up in support. Here's Jarell Harto, young Dutchman, signed from Ajax in the summer.
I'm just laughing at the noise you hear when Garnacho gets the ball. I'll ask a question about that in a minute.
Pass back from him, finds Caicedo, 20 yards out, central position, little 1-2. Caicedo thinking about the right-footed shot, doesn't really think it's on. Passes to his right to Gittins, who's inside that Charlton area. 3 step overs, 2 defenders in front of him. Passes back again to Caicedo. Right-hand corner of that Charlton penalty area. Gittins onto the left foot, and the shot is ballooned over the crossbar, well wide of the target. That'll be another Charlton goal kick, 0-0.
Can we get some fans to phone in to 606 and to explain why, of all the players in the league, very, very few are booed just about everywhere they go? And Garnacho's
past Greg Doherty there, long legs taking him away from the Charlton midfielder. Gittins finds Achimpong, back it comes to Buonanotte, dummies the left-footed shot. Doherty's not falling for that, makes the tackle for Charlton, passes to his right to Carey. Garnacho comes steaming in looking to make a tackle, but the pass is released to Leeburn. Leeburn's back heel goes through the legs of Badiashile, and then Carey with the nutmeg takes it past Santos, throws himself to the floor when Badiashile came back to make the challenge, and I would argue Pat Nevin gets the free kick, but I think he might have bought the free kick there.
I mean, it's one of those ones where Badiashile got too close anyway in the first place. So the first one, that led to the problem. There's a little bit of a push on him there, but not much. I think the referee's right. It's probably just about a free kick, but it's definitely nothing more than that. He just feels something in the back of his shoulder there, goes down, gets a free kick. But that's certainly what Charlton want. They want an opportunity to put the ball into the box. But you do mention Badiashile there. You can't get too close. You can't take too many chances when you're already on a yellow card.
James Bree waits to take the free kick for Charlton, midway inside the Chelsea half on Charlton's right. In it comes, diagonal ball. Leeburn heads it across goal, drops inside the penalty area. Doherty hits the bouncing ball powerfully, but straight into the body of a Chelsea defender, then drags Gittins back as Gittins was looking to get away down the right. And that's the first Charlton player booked this evening. It's the skipper, Greg Doherty. So that's one apiece. Badiashile for Chelsea and Doherty for Charlton.
It is one of those ones where I'm not sure it was absolutely necessary. Yes, Gittins was getting away. There's about 80 yards for goal. It's a long, long old way to go. That's a fairly cheap yellow card to give away by Doherty.
Here's Santos for Chelsea. Harto making the run forward, but Chelsea keep it tight in midfield. Now they open it up down the right. Achimpong, again, those long, graceful strides, eat up the ground very quickly. 1-2 with Buonanotte. Layoff from Santos to Caicedo, who comes shuffling across the Charlton half. Finds Badiashile, who turns, looks for tossing. Caicedo's first time ball as Chelsea try and open this Charlton defence up. Still Charlton 0, Chelsea 0. Last FA Cup third round commentary of the day. Campbell's got this covered from Gittins. Bell steps in to help him out. Another former Luton player, signed by Nathan Jones at Luton, now in this Charlton team. And there's a right-footed clearance from Campbell, which bounces inside the Chelsea half. It takes 2 Chelsea players to take it off Kelman, but of course it's Caicedo who wins the duel, wins the ball, and comes back to his goalkeeper, Jorgensen.
And funny that, when you do leave 2 players up, you expect to be able to hold the ball up that little bit better, but it's been really difficult for Kelman and Leeburn to be able to do that. You could argue it's the quality of the ball's up to them, but in reality, they're just up against bigger, stronger players against them at the moment.
More reaction to come from the FA Cup at half-time. More troubles for Thomas Frank. Spurs beaten 2-1 at home by Aston Villa. The big story of the day, of course, Macclesfield's win against the holders, Crystal Palace. As I heard from John Murray in the car on my way here today, I think only the 9th time in the last century that a non-league team has beaten a top-flight team in the FA Cup. It is extremely rare. It was an incredible win, and it is well worth savouring. Here's Santos, cross to Caicedo. Caicedo gives it to Achimpong, just outside the Charlton area. Quickly on to Gittins. Achimpong makes the run on the outside. Gittins uses him as a decoy. Comes back away from the box, feeds Caicedo. Again, lots of little short passing here. Achimpong very happy to be involved. Back it comes to toss in towards the halfway line. And he got the ball caught under his feet. And Chelsea eventually have to come back to their goalkeeper.
Yeah, but they've not lost possession. But that got a round of applause from the Charlton fans because they got out of a little bit of pressure for a small well. I have to say, if you're playing in blue, I think this must be a joy. I know it's difficult playing against a packed defence and there's a lot of defenders back there, but you've got the ball all of the time. And it's brilliant because at some point, somebody will switch off, a little gap will arise, and you know you'll be able to make a chance.
Arto does well under pressure there. The Dutchman for Chelsea held on to the ball, now plays another pass to Caicedo. Across it comes to Achimpong, tees himself up, drives it well, and Mannion goes flying to his right, palms it behind for a Chelsea corner. Charlton 0, Chelsea 0.
And that little bit of space that I was talking about just seconds ago opens up, and it's going to open up, and you can see with the Charlton players are working incredibly hard, but eventually somebody gets tired. Eventually somebody doesn't follow the man just quick enough, and that's a good shot on target, but it was from 20 yards out. Goalkeeper Mannion saved it well.
So corner from the left, Garnacho about to take. That's why you can hear the boos, jeers and whistles. Again, all of the short options move away. Garnacho's going to deliver this into the penalty area towards the near post, looking for a flick on. Lee Burns there. His clearance away was blocked. Charlton half get it away, but only as far as Garnacho, who's still getting roundly booed. Dummies across with his left foot, then tries to cross with his right. And you heard the enormous cheers there when Tyrese Campbell stuck out a leg and blocked that cross. But again, comes back for Chelsea possession. The possession stats will be very much in Chelsea's favour.
It's one of those ones you always think, well, this looks at 95, and then you look at it and it turns out to be 74. But it does seem pretty extreme in Chelsea's favour at the moment.
As you say, though, Pat, must be fun for the technicians in there, the likes of Buonanotte and Gittins and Garnacho, because it's short and it's intricate and it's fun and they're looking for space, and Garnacho's overrun it here. He's tackled, but Chelsea have it back again. Gittins has now popped up on the left-hand side, drops a shoulder, beats Bree, low pass across to Caicedo. He's under a lot of pressure here. 2 tackles come in, holds onto the ball well. Caicedo now with his right foot curls across into the Charlton area, nodded away by Bell, controlled by Kelman. Play back to the left-hand side to Bell, who's trying to wriggle his way down that left-hand touchline, but Achimpong has it covered for Chelsea. And then Buonanotte helps out, makes the tackle, and Chelsea have the ball again inside their own half.
They do well, win it back very quickly, Chelsea, don't they? They're very strong, and lose it, the ball breaks up left or right-hand side, but there are hordes of Chelsea players very willing, usually led by Caicedo, as you mentioned before. They get the ball back and then they just slow it down, take the time, control the play, and depress the opponent. And that is part of it. Psychologically work hard to make the opponent feel this is pointless, this is hopeless, this is too difficult.
Just very tentatively leaning forward and trying to raise myself gently in my seat for fear of that Charlton fan having another go at me, to see that Liam Rosenior is out there, edge of the pitch, casually watching, jacket open, hands in pockets, and probably enjoying some of this football his Chelsea team are playing, but they've not been able to break through as yet. Third round of the FA Cup, Charlton 0, Chelsea 0. Charlton, since dropping out of the Premier League in 2007, have had 7 goes in cup competitions against Premier League teams and only won once. That was a League Cup tie, December 2022, when they beat Brighton on penalties here after a 0-0 draw at the Valley. Gittins has got Campbell backing off into the Charlton penalty area. Doherty's in front of him as well. Gittins tries to work across through, does get through, but Bell is able to clear. Here's toss in the attendance tonight, 26,475 here, so very near to capacity at the Valley. And again, it's lots of short, neat, precise passing from Chelsea around the edge of the Charlton penalty area. Caicedo points. Buonanotte appears in that space, strokes the ball gently with his left foot to Caicedo. Chelsea work it across to the left, and then Badiashile and Garnacho have a bit of a miscommunication, and Badiashile's passed the ball straight out of play.
Big man's not a very good one, has he? He's having a difficult day, Badiashile. Just sometimes that happens. You have a day like that. And I do think he's been played out of possession. He's been asked to do a job he's not particularly comfortable with, and when he's had to play the ball forward, he's given it away needlessly quite a few times as well. But in the end, he's one of those defenders. That's not his job. His job's to stop people, and generally, as a
First time ball down the right, looking for Kelman. Ball just spun away from him there. He was looking to make contact with tossing the centre-back to hold him off. And then the ball just disappeared from view. Charlton have it inside their own half. Doherty plays back to the 19-year-old Goff. Goff to centre-back Lloyd Jones. And Jones comes back to his goalkeeper Mannion. And as soon as Mannion gets it, he's clearing it downfield. Achimpong tries to knock it over the head of Campbell. Collect it the other side. And the Charlton man wins the battle. It goes out for a throw to Charlton.
I do like Therese Campbell. You know, when he gets forward, he looks very, very dangerous. He's one of those players that he's a wing back, so he'll have to do the left back, left midfield and left wing. But you know he prefers being in the left wing. He wants to get the ball in the last third when he can. And when he does get that situation, he does run at defenders and look very dangerous. The problem, of course, is just not getting enough ball today.
Badiashil's header away. Bree can't keep the ball in play. It was played towards him by Sonny Carey, so that goes out for a Chelsea throw. Shouldn't forget as well that Charlton are a championship team now, but of course were playing in League One last season, came up through the playoffs, beating Leyton Orient 1-0 in the final. Here's Achimpong to Santos. Santos lays it off to Caicedo. You can see the condensation of the players' breath steaming up around their heads. Every single breath they take here, just like this from Tosin, who's breathing heavily but at walking pace in the centre circle. Low pass to Badiashile. Badiashile has his head up. Not really sort of dynamic runs being made ahead of him. So Tosin now plays it across to the right. Buonanotte tries to turn. Takes one in the lower back. He's gone down holding his back. Play doesn't stop and Charlton have a chance to have a go at this Chelsea defence. Leeburn out to Campbell. This is what Pat was talking about. Campbell wanting to get down the left. That's what he does. And he's won the corner. Bit of space. Cross into Achimpong, who knocks it behind for the Charlton corner.
He's clearly more happy, isn't he? Much, much happier going left-hand side. He'll take on the defender every time he gets a chance. The referee didn't stop the play. He didn't see any free kick there. And because it's not a head injury, it's clearly not any sort of break. Of course he's going to carry that game on. Just watching it again for a second time here. There doesn't seem to be a lot in it, and it may well be Buonanotte just turned at an odd angle. Maybe it's not a hit, because you thought it was a hit at first. But in a cold night like this, if I need you in the back, would you feel very happy?
No, I wouldn't, Pat. I wouldn't. And Buonanotte is not comfortable. He's a man alone. He's prostrate on the turf away to our left. Charlton are waiting to take their corner away to our right, but they are going to have to wait a little bit longer while Buonanotte receives treatment. It's worth reading out the Chelsea bench tonight. So as I say, Cole Palmer, Reece James, Malo Gusto not involved this evening. Mark Cucurella suspended after the sending off against Fulham. So Robert Sanchez obviously on there as the keeper. But the cavalry very much there in case Liam Rosina needs them tonight to get through this tie. Pedro Neto, Enzo Fernandez, Liam Delap, Dario Isugo. Now, he was on the bench for the first 3 Premier League games of the season. Young Portuguese midfielder who played a little bit of football for Chelsea at the FIFA Club World Cup but has been injured. He's on the bench. That's good to see. Joao Pedro, Trevor Chalobah, Wesley Fofana and Esteban.
I suppose what you're looking at there, because there's not too much stress on the Chelsea defence so far, apart from the odd corner kick, which we've got one here, and I think that's the best opportunity that Charlton seem to be able to have in this game to make good use of these set pieces. But if you look at Chelsea, you're looking at best thinking, right, okay, who's going to cut open a defence? Is it going to be Esteban? Can he come on and do that? Is it going to be Pedro? And don't ignore Enzo Fernandez, who's perfectly capable of that sort of stuff too.
Right, Charlton corner. Chelsea down to 10 for the moment. Buonanotte rather sorrowfully hobbling his way towards the halfway line. Charlton manager Nathan Jones gives him a little high five. Buonanotte waiting to come back on. Charlton took the corner short. Cross eventually comes in. Tosin heads it away. Chelsea players come chasing out. Guiu's interested here, and then goes through the back of Sonny Kerry, who's in front of him, because Kerry just showed a little bit too much of the ball, then had to put his body in the way to make sure that he won the free kick. Charlton free kick on the halfway line.
Can we safely say that corner kick routine didn't work very well?
Yeah.
They started out with a corner kick and almost get broke on giving the ball away. Badly organised, and considering the first couple of corner kicks that they put in, they looked very dangerous indeed. I was really quite surprised they did that.
It's the 145th season of this fabulous competition, the FA Cup, and we have had 45 different winners in that time. Crystal Palace, of course, new winners last season, beaten by Macclesfield today as the holders, though. Chelsea trying to get the ball away. Gittins, Goff, drags him back but sticks with him. Free kick is given, but he doesn't earn a yellow card for that. Caicedo waits to take it for Chelsea. Cross it comes to Santos. Got 90 seconds of the 45 minutes remaining, and then we'll have to see just how much added time we're going to get at the end of this first. Badiashile, that's a poor pass into space, but in fact straight to the Charlton man, Conor Coventry.
You can tell his confidence is a little bit short now, Badiashile, because he's given a bit away so often. Once again, I do feel sorry for a player who's playing so far out of his comfort zone.
Yeah. Bell from the back for Charlton, up the left-hand side to Campbell. Bell with the back heel, dummy to go back to his keeper. Gittins makes the challenge but fouls Bell. So that'll be a free kick to Charlton. Oh, I think I'll be pretty pleased, actually, just the fact that they've stopped Chelsea scoring, because they haven't done all that much else in the game.
Probably delighted, really. The fact that they've been under that much pressure. There's not been many clear-cut chances that Chelsea have done, but they have absolutely and utterly dominated and controlled the game. And there are some teams that will do that and hold back and have a little bit of a go later on. I don't think it is that. I just think they've been dominated.
Doherty heads the ball straight up in the air. Buonanotte battles for that. Coventry is there for Charlton. Passing to his own half. Goff is alert and speeds across to get to that, because Guiu was closing in on it. Goff's ball out from the back, intercepted, and Chelsea now have an opportunity with Garnacho up to the edge of the penalty area. Charlton getting defenders back, and the shot is blocked by James Bree. Garnacho gets it again, receives it from Harto. The boos start up again for the Argentine. 7 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Acheampong, edge of the penalty area. Out it goes quickly to Gittins on the right. Left-footed cross, too close to the keeper. Mannion, who in his dark green uniform leaps in the air, catches the ball in both hands, clears it downfield with his right foot. Badiashile jumps with Leeburn, who's won a lot of those aerial duels, but Chelsea have the ball. And Santos finds Caicedo. Caicedo to Acheampong. Wide it goes to Gittins, and Gittins is able to get up a bit of speed here. Left-footed low drive. Mannion down to his left, palms it behind for another Chelsea corner. Pat Nevin.
By a decent distance, Gittins looks the most dangerous player out there for either team, but definitely for Chelsea as well. He's gone down the left a few times. Garnacho hasn't really done a lot, but on the right-hand side, Gittins looking sharp. He just floats across that ground, doesn't he? He cruises past players, seemingly not doing a great deal at all. And the fact he's got Acheampong beside him, who is similarly very good, and they have a good understanding together. They two look like a very good pairing in that right-hand side for Chelsea.
We will be hearing from the Tottenham boss, Thomas Frank, at half-time, as well as Emi Buendia after Spurs 1, Villa 2 in the FA Cup third round. Our commentary at 5:45, the 5:45 kickoff this afternoon. This is Charlton 0, Chelsea 0. So those interviews on the way for you shortly. Cross into that Charlton penalty area again. Garnacho jumps for the ball on the edge of the box. Steepling high clearance from Doherty. Lloyd Jones comes rushing in. The ball comes off him. It falls to Buonanotte. Again, a whole huddle of red shirts in front of Buonanotte. Just didn't see a way through there for Chelsea, so they've come back to Caicedo.
তার না হোক প্রতারক আকিজ বশির কেবলস, বাংলাদেশের একমাত্র কেবলস যা দেয় 3 লেয়ার প্রোটেকশন আর 105 ডিগ্রি পর্যন্ত হিট রেজিস্ট্যান্স। প্রতিটা ঘর নিরাপদ হোক, Akish Bashir Cables. Confidence within.
Young Goff, who does look extremely young, he's come as close as he's been to us in this first half, and he's got the short shaven head. 36 on his back for Charlton, and looks all of those just 19 years. Doherty beaten to the ball inside the Chelsea half, and now Chelsea suddenly come streaming forward. Caicedo with the ball at his feet, looking ahead towards Guiu and Buonanotte. Buonanotte passes it back to the Ecuadorian. Then Santos across to Garnacho. Garnacho receives it, runs to the corner of that Charlton penalty area, assesses his options, fires it low across to Achimpong. Short pass to his left to Caicedo. Back it comes to Garnacho, who continues to get the stick from the Charlton fans, trying to work space on the edge of the area, lines up the right-footed shot, which is well blocked, and Chelsea will start again.
Again, when they broke first there, Chelsea, because Charlton were up the park and they left a few players up there, they didn't really do it at pace. Caicedo kind of jogged forward with the ball. If you're a forward player, you think, well, finally, we've got a little bit of space. Let's move into that area quickly. Maybe that's the one question mark you'd ask over about this Chelsea team in the first half. Changing defence into attack when they had to, not doing it quickly enough.
First half of football under Liam Rosenior as the head coach is almost up. It's against Championship Charlton here in the FA Cup third round, and it's still 0-0. Chelsea have dominated the ball. They've not been able to find a way through. Caicedo's cross in, looking for Guiu, headed down. Harto with his left foot finds the top corner. His first goal for Chelsea, the first under Liam Rosenior. They've dominated the ball and they've found a way through just before half-time. It's Charlton 0, Chelsea 1.
Well, the way he celebrated the goal, you'd think he does that every single week. The ball's come down, it's bounced, but it's still kind of a volley, and he has leathered it with the outside of his left boot. A little bit of spin on it as well. He's taken it away from the goalkeeper, but he almost can't hit it any better than that. But that's if you want it if you're Chelsea. The ball just broke down there. It was a cross, and I think it was Caicedo just headed across, and he's walked on with his left foot. And as we often say with left footers, they do tend to hit the ball sweetly, don't they? Angled it well, really relaxed, top bin.
Top bins indeed, off the laces, swerving away into the top corner. His first goal for Chelsea comes in the FA Cup. It's a special strike. You can see it on Match of the Day tonight. BBC One, 10:40. All the highlights also available on the BBC Sport website. If you can't watch Match of the Day live tonight, it'll obviously be available on the iPlayer as well. Some great stories, great goals as well. Manchester City scoring 10, of course, this afternoon. Their massive 10-1 win with Antoine Semenyo getting his first goal for the club as well. And Jarell Harto has done the same for Chelsea tonight. Late in the first half against Charlton. Charlton 0, Chelsea 1. So now Charlton have got a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I've got a problem because the way their system's set up, you know, they've got two up front, but they've got the five at the back. And do they take any more chances? Because if they do, you get the feeling this Chelsea team could basically shred them.
Guiu can't quite hold on to it for Chelsea, just outside the Charlton penalty area. Charlton start to play out. Carey takes a touch with his left foot, moves away easily from Garnacho. Right-footed ball up towards Leeburn. Leeburn, couple of touches, then he's nudged over, is he? Yes. By Caicedo, who's aghast at the referee's decision, but it does give Charlton a free kick just outside the Chelsea penalty area, right at the end of this first half.
I think we can safely say Caicedo doesn't think there was a foul in there. He feels as if he's a little bit of the ball. Did you see that? I didn't think he got much of the ball there. There's a shove in the back as well.
Yeah.
I think he knew what he was doing. It's not being booked, so he's okay.
No, when you come in from there, Pat, he's not quite behind. He's coming in from the side, but he sort of hooked his right leg around Leeburn, didn't he?
Yeah, from the side and behind. It's one of those ones where you have to get an absolutely clean kick in the ball for the referee to allow that to go away. So a dangerous area to get a free kick. I don't think there's a shot on here, but certainly a cross into a dangerous area.
James Bree waits to take it for Charlton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Charlton players inside that Chelsea penalty area. 3-man wall for Chelsea. Bree hits it and finds the wall. Blocked by Santos. Ball spins away to the right. Charlton react quickest. Bree down the right. Crossing from Coventry to the near post. Volleyed away by Caicedo. Bree is there again. Shovels the ball infield. Carey plays it back to the halfway line. And the Charlton attack can't continue because the 7 minutes of added time are up. Chelsea have dominated the half, taken the lead through a stunning goal in added time at the end of the first half. Jarell Hatto with a left-footed screamer. Liam Rossini are down with the coaching staff there. Pat Nevin is all smiles, and I think he should be pretty pleased with the way Chelsea have played.
Yeah, if you're a team that keeps the ball all the time and you're against a massive red Chelsea, and then in the final third, it's hard to find little spaces there. Keep on doing the right things. As long as you do them quickly, the odd gap will open up. You'll get the odd bounce. You'll get the odd half chance just with players getting tired. They know that. They played for that. And when it did come there, they absolutely took advantage of it. So, yeah, they'll be delighted. You can't say anything other than Chelsea deserve to be ahead here. They do deserve to be ahead. But there's a wee bit here that feels a bit sorry for Charlton because they have worked so hard. They just wanted to get to half-time and they almost got there, but not quite.
New boss's game, first game in charge for Chelsea, going as he would want. Lots of the ball, stunning goal just before half-time, scored by Jarell Hatto. So in the FA Cup third round at the Valley at half-time, it's Charlton 0, Chelsea 1.
A very enjoyable first half, I must say. Kind of what we were expecting, gentlemen, and a corking atmosphere as well coming through the airwaves up until that Chelsea goal. Pat, out of 10, what do you think from what you've seen so far from Liam Rossini's, albeit second-string Chelsea?
It looks very much like the Chelsea before, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't look a great deal different. I really couldn't say style-wise it changed much. Just passing the ball maybe a little bit quicker after the break in play we had after 10 minutes. I'm sure Liam Rossini got onto him and said, look, it's a bit slow, it's a bit pedestrian, we need to move it a bit, I need to ask a few more questions because we're allowing them to get back and set. But is that any different for Maresca would have done? Absolutely not. So, a Chelsea, decent performance from Chelsea, were playing well.
Are we going to see changes? Are we going to see changes in the second half, Pat?
Do you know what? If it had been 0-0 and that goal by Hatto hadn't gone on, I'd have said definitely. As it is now, well, why change it? You're 1-0 up, you're controlling the game, you're resting some of the big names. And it's one of those ones, if you can rest as many of those big names as much as you can, say Chelsea, this 11 players, they go and score another goal early in the second half. Well, then you might give Buonanotte 90 minutes where he wouldn't have given him before. You might give Gittins 90 minutes because he's not got enough of them to get it under the belt, so they're used to it. So a lot of that depends on how Chelsea do in the next 15 minutes. If they score another one, yeah, leave well alone.
Pat, Ali, thank you very much indeed. Go and unclip yourselves, put those commentary desks up and into their little slots and get a refreshment. That's Alistair Bruce Ball and former Chelsea winger Pat Nevin there at the Valley, where it is Charlton 0, Chelsea 1 at half-time. We'll get into the Macclesfield story a bit more. We'll get some reaction from Tottenham as Spurs were knocked out of the FA Cup a little earlier on, and we'll run through all the scores from this third round Saturday, including from rugby's European Champions Cup as well today. It's all after the latest BBC.
নতুন বছরে ফুড প্যান্ডা থেকে অর্ডার করুন মজাদার খাবার আর ডিল নাও করে পেয়ে যান 150 টাকার ছাড় 7 days সাদিয়াস কিচেন সিক্রেট রেসিপি সুলতান স্টাইল ও আরো অনেক অপশনে 150 টাকা ছাড় প্যান্ডা
Voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, James. Iran's head of judiciary is warning protesters that if they're found carrying weapons or damaging public property, they could face the death penalty. There are reports of hospitals being overwhelmed, and 2 human rights groups are reporting that at least 50 people have been killed during protests. Here's the former US National Security Advisor, John Bolton.
That crackdown could succeed, as it has before, but I think it indicates a level of concern among the top leadership that we haven't seen in a long time. And they have good reason to be concerned because support for the regime, I think, is at an all-time low.
South East Water has apologised after more than 20,000 properties were left with no water or low pressure. It's blamed pipes frozen during Storm Goretti for problems in Tunbridge Wells and East Grinstead. A weather warning for snow and ice has been upgraded to amber for parts of Scotland. It comes into force overnight tonight. Scottish ministers, police and local authorities met earlier to discuss their response to the weather. Police in Minneapolis say 29 people have been arrested during protests against immigration agents sparked by the fatal shooting of Renee Good. One police officer has been injured. Leah Greenberg's from the grassroots political movement Indivisible, and she's organised some protests.
It is about Renee Good, and it is about the extraordinary reign of violence and terror that ICE has been wreaking in communities that do not want them over the course of this entire year. And people are responding with grief, but they're also responding with action. They are teaching each other what to do when ICE comes into their communities.
The authorities in southeastern Australia have declared a major disaster as firefighters tackle raging bushfires. Houses have been destroyed and vast areas of forest and woodland have been badly burnt. 2 men have been arrested after Greater Manchester Police seized cannabis with an estimated street value of more than £20 million. Officers say it's one of the biggest seizures of the drug ever made in the UK. And Macclesfield Town are celebrating tonight after pulling off one of the greatest upsets in FACup history. The National League North side knocked out current holders Crystal Palace with a 2-1 win at Moss Rogues to sail through to the fourth round.
5 Live Sports. WSL.
Our referee for this afternoon blows her whistle. We are underway then.
The opening goal, and she is able to just take her spot.
Curls its way past the best goalkeeper in the division.
BBC Women's Football Weekly.
The latest news, insights and analysis from across the women's game.
Lucy Bruns, welcome back. What one lioness do you think would make the best rugby player? Me?
Listen.
With the BBC Sounds app. This is 5 Live Sports with James Gregg.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
So half-time at the Valley here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Charlton 0, Chelsea 1. We'll be back there shortly with Pat Nevin and Alistair Bruce Ball shortly. Let's take you through a quite frankly awesome day in terms of upsets, goals and storylines across 5 Live and the BBC. FA Cup highlight show, by the way, on BBC One from 10:40 tonight. That'll be well worth your time. So second half commentary to come of our final match of this third round Saturday. But if you were with us a little earlier on, Emi Buendia was among the goals as Aston Villa beat Tottenham 2-1, and afterwards he spoke to Rob Nothman.
Well, Emmy, this must be one of your favourite grounds. You scored a great goal here in the league and another really good one today.
Yes, of course. Obviously, it's a nice stadium to come and play. Obviously, so to help the team scoring goals is always good. So yeah, we knew before the game it's going to be a tough place to come. Obviously, to face a team like them, they are strong, they have quality. So yeah, I think we prepare the game well, and we show a really strong mentality and quality in the first half to go 2-0 to the halftime, and then keep fighting the second half to get the win.
You said it was going to be a tough game, and yet in the first half you made it look remarkably straightforward. Was that Villa almost at their best in the first half?
Yeah, I don't know. Firstly, obviously getting the result we get to 2-0 up shows a good result, of course. But I think the way we play, we control, I think, the game well. Really, we try to stop their pressing with passes to keep the tempo of the game. So we've been patient as well, and then try to find the pockets behind the midfielders. We play really well, I think. Obviously, then we have the intensity to counter press as soon as we lost the ball as well. So yeah, it was a really good first half, and then we drop a little bit the second half, but then we keep the spirit, the fighting to the end to get the win.
So Emi Buendia speaking to Rob Nothman there. Rob's also been speaking to the Tottenham manager Thomas Frank.
Well, Thomas, a lot to get through. Let's start with half-time. The team walk off 2-0 down. There are boos around the stadium. Were you angry with your players at half-time?
I would say I'd like the response second half. I think the second half is the level and the intensity and passion you want to play with for 90 minutes. That's always the aim. It was the other way around against Sunderland, where we started very good first half, couldn't keep it out second half. This way it was the other way around. So that was still the intention first half. We couldn't succeed with it for whatever reason. Second half, you can see the unity between fans and players and the energy and how they fed out each other. And we played a very good second half, and I think we also got chances, opportunities to equalise.
And Thomas, you know how these things work. Are you going to be given the time to be able to fix that?
Yeah, I'm not in doubt of that, because we are in a situation where we are keep improving things. Even if we don't get results, I think it's important to look into the level of performance, especially the second half level of performance, the last 5 games. I think that's what you need to look into. Then sometimes the things maybe doesn't go your way all the time, but we need to keep going.
So that's Thomas Frank speaking after his Spurs side were beaten at home 2-1 by Aston Villa. Let's talk about the biggest story from the FA Cup third round. It happened earlier on this afternoon. National League North side Macclesfield knocking out the holders Crystal Palace. They won 2-1. And if you're just joining us and you didn't hear or indeed haven't seen the match, have a listen to this bit of FA Cup. Yes, I'm going to say the word FA Cup magic.
Luke Duffy, right-footed, takes it into the box. Richards, it's headed in! Oh, Dawson, the captain, the Bandits' head, and Macclesfield are in front against Crystal Palace. Have you ever seen the like? Amazing scenes here. Dawson runs away into the corner. The biggest shock ever in the FA Cup could be on here. Richards can't get it away. Could bounce anywhere. This inside the area. Mellor goes down. Referee waves it away. Still in the area. Mellor gets up, shoots, comes out to the edge of the box. Left-footed shot deflected. Oh, it's going in! It's going in. It's 2-0. Oh, the place goes absolutely mad. Macclesfield are winning 2-0 against Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner and his team cannot believe what's happening to them here. Well, what's happening is it's Macclesfield 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, if that commentary from John Murray doesn't make you smile here on this Saturday evening, I don't know what will. Macclesfield are ranked 117 places below Crystal Palace, and here's their manager, John Rooney.
No, it's incredible. It still doesn't feel real. Obviously, before the game, we were talking about with a bit of hope and listening to the FA Cup, but did they really believe it? No, probably not. But when we went 1-0 up, I was like, they're going to come on top now. But I thought the lads, I didn't think, obviously we won the game, but I thought we were well-deserved winners as well. I thought we were outstanding.
I've spoken to both of your goal scorers, and clearly the momentum of the game was shifted by the timing of both of those goals. But I think particularly the goal from Paul Dawson really gave you hope. And I just wonder, from a coach's perspective, just before half-time, how important was that for you?
No, it's, you take scoring a goal against the Premier League side, but...
মামা বন্ধ করে দিলা?
চলো ওই দোকানে
আজ কিস্তি জামা না?
ভাইজান, বিকাশ থাকলে কোথাও যাওয়া লাগে না।
বিকাশে
নিশ্চিন্তে কিস্তি দেই, ডিজিটাল পাস বই সাথে রিসিটও পাই।
কি বলে? হ্যাঁ,
এখন এনজিওর কিস্তি
বিকাশ পেমেন্ট করলেই স্বস্তি।
এআই টেকনোলজির কঙ্কা হ্যাপি ওয়াশিং মেশিন, কটন, সিল্ক, উল, ডেনিম বা পলিস্টার, যত্নের সাথে সব কাপড় পরিষ্কার। কঙ্কা, হ্যাপি থাকুন।
40. You can watch Match of the Day with Jason Mohammed and guests, and there'll be plenty more on that incredible result for Macclesfield. There could have been another big cup upset this evening, actually. Non-league Western Supermare narrowly were beaten 3-2 away to League Two's Grimsby Town. This was the National League Southside's first appearance in their 138-year history in the competition's third round. And here's their manager, Scott Rogers.
Awfully proud, just saying then. They were fantastic today. From minute 1 to 95, they ran and not outran Grimsby, but they matched them. Grimsby obviously a full-time outfit. We know what they're about. Their manager's got them well drilled, fit, strong side, won the last 2 games in League Two. And I think we probably give them a harder game than probably the last 2 league games, I'd imagine.
And it's been a historic run for your club to get to the third round of the FA Cup. It must have meant a lot to everybody in the community and just the players themselves and yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to see 700 Western supporters behind the goal there singing from minute 1 to 95 was unbelievable. I can't thank them enough, and what they do for these players is unbelievable. They run out at the start, give them a clap. It makes them feel $1 million, and we're going to need them next second half of the season. If they can support us like they did today, then we'll do everything we can to get in the playoffs.
Well, that was Scott Rogers, the Weston-super-Mare manager, speaking after his side were narrowly defeated by Grimsby Town. Let's talk about all of the other scores. So we've done Tottenham, Villa, Macclesfield Palace and Fulham, Middlesbrough. I will talk about that, but let's go through all the scores now. So Cheltenham 0, Leicester 2, Everton 1, Sunderland 1. Robin Roof, the Sunderland keeper, saving 3 penalties in the shootout there. Wolves 6, Shrewsbury 1. Nice win for Rob Edwards' side. Bournemouth 0, Burton 5. Burnley 5, Millwall 1. Southampton survived a scare to get past Doncaster 3-2 at the Keepmoat. Fulham beat Championship Middlesbrough 3-1. Ipswich 2, Blackpool 1. Manchester City 10, Exeter 1. Ruthless win equals the club record. And Antoine Semenyo with a debut goal there for Manchester City. Newcastle and Bournemouth needed penalties in that other all-Premier League tie. 7-6 Newcastle won it. Aaron Ramsdale, the hero there. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Brentford 2. Stoke City beat Coventry 1-0. Bristol City thrashed Watford 5-1. Cambridge fought back valiantly but lost 3-2 to Birmingham City at the Abbey Stadium. And Grimsby fought hard to make the fourth round again. 3-2 winners over Weston-super-Mare, as we just heard, of the 6th tier. All the highlights of all the games so far on Match of the Day, like I said, from 20 to 11 this evening with Jason Mohammed, Rob Green and Dion Dublin. There is also a couple of matches from Rugby Union's Champions Cup, 2 8 o'clock kickoffs. It's currently Leicester 31, Bayonne 7, and a cracker there in Llanelli as Scarlets have just retaken the lead against Section Paloise. It's at 31-26 in that. You can hear that Leicester Tigers game on Sports Extra. We're headed back to the Valley. Gentlemen, have you strapped yourselves in, quite literally yet again, for this second half?
Couldn't leave at half-time, James. Locked in for half-time, the rest of the game, and then hopefully we'll get out at the end.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm jumping down at Richard Jobson in the background singing Into the Valley. That sounded good.
Excellent. And do we have changes at half-time?
No, we're just about to get underway. Charlton followed Chelsea out onto the pitch, just waited a minute or so the home fans could roar them back onto the field, and the second half gets underway. 5 Live and BBC Sounds live at the Valley. Magical day of FA Cup third round football, and Chelsea have the lead. First game under the new head coach Liam Rosenior. Jarell Harto, the 19-year-old Dutch defender, scoring in added time at the end of the first half. Charlton with an early attack though, second half. Cross comes in low towards the near post, well intercepted by Tossin, and then his clearance is blocked. Spun back towards his own goal, but behind for the goal kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, good start to second half. I mean, it was a decent start to the first half from Charlton. As I said, that first 5 or 10 minutes it looked pretty dangerous down the left-hand side. This time they went down the right-hand side, got a cross in. Didn't lead to a clear-cut chance, but well, it shows a level of intent that Charlton are going to try and get back into this game.
So Chelsea playing from left to right in the second half, if you know the Valley. They are defending the goal, which is in front of the giant covered end away to our left, packed with home fans. They're shooting towards the travelling support, are Chelsea, in this second half under the roof of the Jimmy Seed stand. Nice pass to Achimpong, slightly missed control, but he's able to keep the ball for Chelsea. Gittins was bright in the first half. Here he is again, teasing defenders. Right-footed cross into the far post. Buonanotte sticks a foot on the ball, tries to get a shot in, and the referee, peering into that penalty area, says that was a clean challenge on Buonanotte. It was a foot on the ball. Buonanotte went down. Chelsea were hoping for a penalty. It's been cleared away for a throw on the left. No VAR, of course.
Desperate challenge in there. A brilliant challenge, I think. I'm with the referee there. It's both defenders actually go for it. And in actual fact, it wasn't the one we thought. It was actually Jones eventually got the tackle in, not the one we thought had got the tackle in. Referee in a great position, well spotted it.
Just wonder whether Chelsea might have been appealing for a handball as well, but nothing Keenan Goff could have done about it. He was lying on his back, having tried to make the block, and the ball possibly hit him on the hand while he was down. But Chris Kavanagh was staring right down the line of it, and very clearly made that sort of round-shaped symbol with his hands to say the ball was taken in the tackle. Didn't see a handball, no penalty, so it remains Charlton 0, Chelsea 1. I'll run you through the two teams again in just a second. Leeburn, though, is streaking away down the left for Charlton. Chelsea defenders desperately trying to get back. Leeburn's pass is a good one to Sonny Carey. Holds on to it here, half tackled on the edge of the box, looking to release the pass to the right. Chelsea have managed to deal with that. And now Garnacho comes scampering away again to a chorus of boos down the left for Chelsea. So Chelsea in the second half remain Jorgensen in goal, Achampong Tosin, Badiashile who's on the yellow card, and the goal scorer Jarell Harto at left back. Caicedo and Andre Santos, the two midfielders. Gittins, Buonanotte, Garnacho, and the Spanish striker Marc Guiu, the 20-year-old in his second season at the club, who actually went on loan right at the start of this season to Sunderland. Even scored a goal for them in the League Cup, but quite quickly returned to Chelsea after an injury to Liam Delap, and starting in the FA Cup here against Charlton. Gittins, good control on the right, trying to take on Campbell. Surely Campbell didn't get the ball there. Has to be a free kick to Chelsea. It is.
Yeah, Campbell, I mean, given it's sure Campbell, he makes the runs, he chases back, he does all the jobs. I mean, to do the entire side of left full-back, left wing-back and left winger all at the same time, of course you're going a little bit tired. He was so tired there, I don't think you get within 2 yards of the ball with that tackle. Nowhere near it.
No. Kind of challenge that a winger, Pat, I'm sure you know, knows is coming. Quite happy to take it, win the free kick, and Gittins, as you said in the first half, Pat, has looked really good actually.
He is really sharp, really comfortable, really confident, wanting the ball all the time, finding good space there on that right hand side. He looks actually a bit better on the right hand side than he does on the left, because Chelsea do sometimes shove him out on that left hand side.
Wonder whether we might see a bit of Esteval, a bit of magic from Esteval tonight as well.
I hope so.
Yeah, so do I, Pat. He's one of the Chelsea subs tonight. No Cole Palmer, no Reece James. Free kick, Buonanotte goes for goal, flicked header, toss in. It's 2-0 to Chelsea. That was hit powerfully, almost like a shot, but Tosin took a chance. It may well have been aimed at him, and he's just got a touch on the ball with his head. Goalkeeper had no chance. Liam Rossinia's Chelsea are now 2 goals in front of the Valley. Charlton 0, Chelsea 2.
I actually think it was an utterly brilliant ball in there, and I do think that was set up beforehand. You know, there's not a lot of time in the training ground with the new management. However, I'm just having to make sure they were onside there. But there were actually 2 players at that near post that could have got on the end of that with Chelsea there. To be honest, it's poor defending. The guy who's in the front man should be right in front, 2-3 yards in front. They put no one in the front there, and because of that, Tosin was able to get a flick on. Not a chance for the goalkeeper. And Chelsea, well, I mentioned that at half time, they can relax now a little bit.
And Liam Rossinia's celebration, he just stuck both arms out wide, but the look on the face was very much like, well, that worked. Yeah. That worked well.
That actually very much looked like a training ground to me.
Yeah. No, you're right, Pat. It looked like a shot, and actually could have caused the goalkeeper a problem had no one got a touch. But it was fantastic pacey delivery, and all Tosin needed to do was just get a glance on. That's what he did. His first goal of the season. So we've had Jarell Harto's first goal for the club, Tosin's first goal of the season, and Chelsea all of a sudden look comfortable at Charlton. Charlton 0, Chelsea 2. Next up for Chelsea, as we were mentioning in the first half, at home against Arsenal. Full commentary on 5 Live, Wednesday night at Stamford Bridge. First leg of the League Cup semi-final. We'll have full commentary as well on Newcastle, Manchester City. Charlton trying to get back at Chelsea now. Campbell's cross is deep. Jones was up at the far post. He's taken a whack in the eye as he tried to get his header on target. It's gone behind for the goal kick, and the referee's just going to check he's okay before the game gets back underway. Charlton's team, by the way, they had to make a change in goal tonight. Will Mannion is the keeper. Thomas Kaminski, the Belgian, not involved. Keenan Goff, the 19-year-old. Lloyd Jones and Amari Bell, the 3 centre-backs. Connor Coventry in front of them. James Bree and Tyrese Campbell as the wing-backs. Greg Doherty and Sonny Carey in central midfield. Miles Leeburn and Charlie Kellman up front. Chelsea are playing out. Caicedo, challenged by Doherty, nearly lost it. Cleared by Badiashile, chested down by Gittins. And you just wonder whether this young Chelsea team might really fancy this now and having a right go at Charlton. Gittins certainly, again, going at defenders. The ball eventually bobbles away from him and runs through to the Charlton keeper, Mannion.
Just a moment there that a little break up left-hand side, and it's Tyrese Campbell once again getting the ball to the byline, getting a really good cross in. He doesn't do anything complicated. He just takes one step to his left-hand side, puts on the afterburners, and then smashes it into the middle. don't have to be complicated.
It's pace, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah, it's nothing more than that. And it's a trick. It's not a complicated trick, but if it works, then keep on using it. And he does that. Problem is, it's only been able to do it 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times in a game so far. But each time he did it, it's been successful.
FA Cup commentaries tomorrow on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Derby Leeds at 12, Portsmouth Arsenal at 2. Here's Garnacho on the left for Chelsea, running at Goff. Little step over, right-footed curler just wide of the left-hand post, and Garnacho holds both hands over his mouth in sort of mock horror. He can't believe that's not curled into the far corner for 3-0.
Well, it's so much space there. He's got 1-on-1. It's the winger's dream. Cuts inside there, and he's curling it with his right foot towards the back post. He absolutely expects that to nestle in at the back post there, and it just skims wide.
West Ham QPR tomorrow kicks off at 2:30 on Sports Extra. Norwich Walsall is on Sports Extra 2. We've also got full commentary of Liverpool Barnsley on Monday night in the FA Cup third round. The 4th round draw will be made ahead of that game. Charlton 0, Chelsea 2. Headed forward by Caicedo to Gittins. Gittins trying to have a bit of fun. Controls it on his right thigh. Then looked for a lob pass, which Doherty intercepted. Cleared to the halfway line. Badiashile with a high, powerful header. Gittins' touch. Might work for Guiu here. Guiu gets there first. Fires it across goal. Cleared away by young Keenan Goff. Campbell from deep for Charlton. That clearance is read by Santos. Leeburn launches himself at the ball. Got a touch on it, but Chelsea have it again. And Charlton, as you said, Pat, towards the end of the first, have done a lot of running and a lot of chasing. There's going to be some tired legs out there in the last half hour of this game.
They've tried to up a little bit, push it a little bit higher up the part of the second half. You look at the back line, it's not on this 18-yard line now. It's 35 yards, a little bit further on. Try to close that midfield and see if they can get involved in the game. But of course, that leaves its own dangers, and Chelsea are breaking into those areas.
Buonanotte, threaded ball. Harto looks for the cross into the penalty area. Guiu was just about 5 yards behind the play there, got nowhere near the cross. Played up towards the halfway line, but Chelsea have got it all covered at the moment. Badiashile chests it down. And you've got a group of young, very talented footballers. A lot of this team not been playing regularly, starting regularly in the first team for Chelsea, trying to impress a new head coach, which is a bit of a worry for Charlton, who of course in the Championship on a run at the moment of just 1 win in 11 games. Gittins caught offside this time, and I think Tyrese Campbell is breathing a sigh of relief at that.
Yeah, again, he has been the most impressive player. Actually, those 2 players are probably the most impressive players in the game so far for either side.
Yeah.
Gittins looks very good going down the right-hand side. He's up against Campbell, but I don't think Gittins has to do the working back. So for poor Tyrese Campbell, he's doing double the work, and when he ends up marking Gittins, he's a bit exhausted at the end of it. But he's very game, he keeps on going for it, but he's going to run out of gas soon.
Mannions, long clearance, the Charlton keeper. Leeburn, so good in the air, wins the header, nods it to his left. Here is Campbell attacking for Charlton now, inside the Chelsea penalty area. Dummies across twice with his right foot. Good ball to the far post, nodded down. Might fall in the air for Kelman, hits the shot. And it was a falling Harto who gets his body in the way. It goes behind for the Charlton corner.
Well done. Again, it's that man Campbell. He gets the ball and he's got 2 up against him. And they're both Chelsea players are saying, you ain't going down the line, mate. You've done it to us too often. And he went, okay, I won't, then I'll just put it on the other side. Goes onto his right foot, curls it at the back post, and a decent chance there. Maybe the best chance that the Charlton have had so far.
Nice little bit of link-up play as well between the 2 strikers. Leeburn nodding it down and Kelman getting the shot away. The big man, little man combo for Charlton. Corner comes in from the left towards the far post. Oh, brilliant save. Rebound is in. Charlton are back in the game. Miles Leeburn thumps it in with his right foot. Fabulous save by Philip Jorgensen to deny the header that looked like it was destined for the back of the net. But Miles Leeburn would not be denied. His dad scored plenty of goals for Charlton, and that's a big one for young Miles. Charlton 1, Chelsea 2.
Well, they were unlucky not to get with the first one because the header was superb. It was a great save by Jorgensen. Now, there is a player offside there, and I think it looks like Campbell may have been in an offside position. Doesn't matter, keeper saves it. When it breaks back out, he doesn't think twice. He just leathers it low, as hard as he can, and there's nothing Jorgensen can do about that. Now, here's a question. How will that psychologically affect a lot of these young Chelsea players?
Well, the noise as well, absolutely thunderous inside the Valley. Red and white smoke billowing into the air from the home end in the covered end away to our left. Miles Leeburn trying to win it back for Charlton. Chelsea under a little bit of pressure, but they do lead this cup tie by 2-1. Let's see how Liam Rosenior and his young Chelsea team respond. They've immediately found the danger man Gittins again on the right, stabs a little pass back to Acheampong, and Chelsea are going to slow it down, try and take control of the ball, take the sting out of the game and quieten the crowd, which is a tough job to do. Just under 27,000 in at the Valley tonight for this one, and Charlton are back in the game. Harto in central midfield here, often making that run from the left-back position to pop up into midfield, but Acheampong now has it on the right, and there's still plenty of time left in this second half. There's over half an hour left in the game. Charlton 1, Chelsea 2. Pat and I just making sure everything is just so in our commentary position. So there's pens, there's plug banks, there's stopwatches, there's notes, there's laptops, Pat. And just before the game, we managed to send the whole lot flying absolutely everywhere.
That's very kind of you to say we. It was me. Everything went flying. But happily nothing broke. The game's had to stop just now because there is so you mentioned a smoke bomb on the field down the left-hand side. I mean, these Charlton fans they've been brilliant. They stuck by their team, but you just thought after the second goal, unless they got something quickly, it could be a long evening. It could get quite ugly. But they kept on pushing away. And I said in the first half, the most likely way of scoring was from one of those set pieces. And it turned out to be the case.
Gittins trying to get away down the right onto the ball. Danger for Charlton again. He's into the penalty area. Defenders backpedaling. He looks for the little pass back to Buonanotte. Buonanotte had to work hard to keep that for Chelsea, but he's done that. Laid back from Santos to Caicedo into those dancing feet of Buonanotte. Low pass and not a good one. Went under the boot of Sonny Carey, but still only found a Charlton player. Now Connor Comentetary passes out from midfield, picks a good pass to Carey. Carey immediately looking for Kelman on the left. The ball's behind him, but Campbell has got such quick pace. He's up there supporting the attack, and the Charlton fans wanting to take on Gittins. He's beaten Gittins. Cross comes in, blocked at the near post by Acheampong. Charlton fans now screaming for him. Amari Bell to shoot. He's not going to do that. He's going to hold on to the ball, and Guiu with his dark brown hair flying behind him as he goes chasing from defender to defender here. But Lloyd Jones plays it across to 19-year-old Keenan Goff. Bree is involved wide on the right for Charlton, and Charlton eventually will come back to their goalkeeper, and it looks like they've got a bit of a belief, Pat.
Yeah, that's possibly the most confident piece of play that they've had in the entire game so far. Held it a little bit, maybe 8 or 9 passes, and just a shame they gave it away pointlessly there.
Half an hour left to go. Charlton 1, Chelsea 2. FA Cup third round on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Caicedo across to Santos. Low pass from Santos finds Garnacho. Garnacho just outside the area. Into the box he goes. On his left foot. Cut back. Caicedo stabs it towards goal. That's blocked. Falls to the edge of the area. And then Santos on the half volley leaning back is well off target. And the ball just balloons behind for a goal kick to Charlton.
But just a moment ago, Campbell was down that left-hand side again. He did the same thing again. And isn't that an odd thing to see a player doing one trick, one thing, time after time after time, and it working time after time after time and getting across it? It's quite astonishing. I mean, you think Chelsea would learn a little bit from it. They'll need to double up on them, but Chelsea don't want to do that.
Flick header from Kelman, this time finds Leeburn. Leeburn works it back to Kelman on the left-hand side. Carey making the run forward. Chelsea have got it covered. Badiashile plays back to his goalkeeper, Jorgensen. Closed down by Leeburn very quickly, and Jorgensen got it away just in time. Now, Garnacho tries a flick there inside his own half and got a bit lucky that the ball came bouncing back to him. But now, all of a sudden, he's motoring away down the left-hand side. Charlton defenders in his wake, and he's into the penalty area. Right-footed pass. Buonanotte's low shot. Blocked by Manny, and Guiu with the follow-up, and Chelsea's 2-goal cushion is restored. Guiu screams with joy at the Chelsea fans behind the goal. That the ball came bouncing back to him, but now all of a sudden he's motoring away down the left-hand side. Charlton defenders in his wake, and he's into the
players forward. They're going to leave themselves open at the back. Pace. Well, they broke at pace this time, didn't they? What a difference it makes when you do that, because if defence doesn't get set, And when it eventually comes in off the goalkeeper, who made a good save, first touch, Guillaume, 3-1.
Yeah, Guillaume in the right place at the right time there. 3 Charlton defenders around him, but the ball fell to him perfectly, and he just reacted. Instinctive, left-footed finish from close range. His second goal of the season. The other one came in the Champions League against Ajax, and it means Charlton 1, Chelsea 3. So Charlton need 2 goals now to try and take this tie into extra time and possibly all the way to penalties. They will not give up, roared on by this passionate home crowd. 2 home games to follow for Charlton as well, against Sheffield United and Derby after this. Badiashile comes across to try and make a tackle. Doherty beat him to it. Cross comes into the near post. Jorgensen dives for that. Kelman was close to him. That's been given as a free kick for a challenge on the Chelsea keeper, rather than going behind via Jorgensen for the corner. And the referee, Chris Kavanagh, is just going to step in because I think Tosin didn't like the challenge on his goalkeeper.
No, if you're a forward, a striker, you've got to go in there. You've got to take a chance, and it's FA Cup gone round. You're going to have to try and get in there and ask a couple of questions. It's whether the ball was actually out by the time the keeper gets it. And to be honest, I don't think there's a lot in that.
No.
I don't see why Tosin's so angry about that. You've got to make a challenge. He's not putting his feet up or anything. No. He's just going in with his shoulder when the ball's there to be attacked.
I mean, he could have gone in harder if he wanted to, but he didn't actually. He sort of stopped and stood there, and we've got a treat coming. Estevao is getting ready to come on for Chelsea. The 18-year-old Brazilian. If you've not seen him play yet this season, or heard him play indeed on our coverage on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, he is an absolute joy to watch. Cleared by Mannion, the Charlton keeper. So Charlton 1, Chelsea 3. As it stands, Chelsea heading through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Premier League teams knocked out in the 3rd round so far. Charlton fans are up because a free kick has been given against their team. It's Badiashile who's gone down. Charlton fans couldn't see the problem. Charlton players don't see the problem. Chris Kavanagh says that is a free kick for Chelsea. So Crystal Palace are out, obviously beaten at Macclesfield in what you have to say is possibly the greatest FA Cup upset of all time. Certainly one of them. Amazing listen that earlier on today. Everton out, Bournemouth out, Nottingham Forest out last night, and Spurs out as well at home to Villa. Changes coming, 3 of them for Charlton. Let's deal with Chelsea's first of all. I think Gittins is going to be a bit disappointed to come off, actually. He's been having such a good game for Chelsea.
I think he's done enough.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those ones. He's done enough. Manager's impressed, knows that he can be used in the next one. Go and see what Estevao can do in the same situation.
Right. Charlie Kelman, striker, is coming off here. Number 3's gone up. Macaulay Gillespie will come on, who scored the free kick, of course, at Wembley, that won that playoff final back in May last year, that took Charlton back into the Championship. So on he comes. I can see the Jamaican international, Karoy Anderson, is waiting to come on. He's on next for Connor Coventry. Coventry applauds the Charlton fans as he comes sprinting across the halfway line to get himself off the field as quickly as he can. And the last change sees Joe Rankin Costello come on for the skipper, Greg Doherty, who was on the yellow card in the Charlton midfield. So 1 change for Chelsea, 3 changes for Charlton, 25 minutes to play. That looks like mist and fog sort of rolling in over the top of the Alan Kirbishley stand opposite us here. But I mean, in no danger of sort of affecting the match. We can still see very clearly what's going on. Chelsea fans in very good... The remarkable long record they have, the stat I read out right at the start of the game, they've gone through in 61 of the last 63 FA Cup ties against opponents from divisions below them, including the last 22 in a row. And I'm sure you'll remember the last time they did actually lose to a team from a division below them. That was Jose Mourinho's Chelsea at home against Bradford in the FA Cup 4th round in 2015, and Bradford won. I think they were 2-0 down and won 4-2.
I was there at that game, yeah.
I was there too. Yeah. It was amazing, wasn't it? And the other one in the run, actually, people will remember as well, it came against Barnsley. Barnsley away in 2008 in the quarterfinals. Took Barnsley into the semis. Crikey, Jorgensen taking a risk inside his own penalty area. Got the ball away from Leeburn. Badiashile looks a bit panicky there, but gets a pass forward to Garnacho. Goes down, challenge from behind. by Anderson, so that will be a free kick to Chelsea. Midway through the second half, Charlton 1, Chelsea 3.
I think the Charlton fans are getting a little bit miffed by that at the moment. Certainly was a free kick given, again, it was Badiashile got it just a few minutes ago, and I just thought it got too tight, and I thought it was a poor decision by the referee. Had the referee let that go, Charlton were in a great position to attack.
Jorgensen, long clearance from the Chelsea keeper downfield, looking for Estevao. Estevao can't win it. Bell runs away from the young Brazilian. So we're going to get a close-up view of Estevao in the last 20 minutes or so of this game. And I'm sure he's been sitting there watching the fun Gittins has been having wide on the right-hand side. Magical dribbling skills. Has lit it up for Chelsea a few times this season, but used in sort of short bursts. We'll have to see what Liam Rosenior makes of young Estevao. He's closing the ball down at the moment. Charlton nearly give it away. Win it back on the halfway line. Loose touch from Tyrese Campbell. Caicedo's gone down. He's fouled. I think he's going to be okay, though. And that will be a free kick to Chelsea. A bit scrappy from Charlton there.
Yeah, they're trying to adapt to their system a little bit just now. And we are talking a lot. I've been talking a lot about Tyrese Campbell playing as a left wing back. Well, they've now got him as a left attacker now. So he won't have to chase back as much as he had before. The problem is he's given so much his energy to the game so far. He looks pretty much waved out.
Yeah, Amari Bella actually has gone into that sort of left back, left wing back position, and Macaulay Gillespie's coming as the left-sided centre back. Enzo Fernandez on for Buonanotte, Delap on for Guiu. 2 more Chelsea changes, and head coach Liam Rosenior, lovely embrace with Mark Guiu, congratulating him on scoring a goal in the FA Cup with a big smile on his face. He's got Chelsea's third tonight. Charlton 1, Chelsea 3.
He's one of those players, isn't he, Guiu? He's scored a huge amount of goals, but he works so hard.
Yeah.
And he's a player that other players love playing with, because his hard work creates space for you all around the pitch. Very similar to the man on the ball just there, Delap.
Yeah, Delap did well for his team there. Bounced off a couple of defenders, went in to try and win another 50-50. Goff clears on the turn for Charlton as the mist continues to come tumbling down from the roof of that Alan Kirbishley stand. 20 minutes to go. Last FA Cup third round action of the day. But as I say, more commentaries on the way tomorrow on 5 Live and the Sports Extra streams, all of which you can find on the BBC Sounds app, which is where you'll find all the podcasts as well. Latest edition of the Football Daily has a sit-down interview with Yaya Toure. The commentator's view from yesterday is sitting there as well, if you want to have a listen to that. Achimpong plays back here to Badiashile, who didn't particularly want that, but he's under no pressure. It's tossing, in fact, on the ball. Into the feet of Caicedo, back to tossing, stroke to the left. Here is Badiashile now, bit of space to work with as he crosses the halfway line, brings it forward 5 yards, controls the ball and plays to Santos. Another 1-2 between Santos and Caicedo. Flicked on by Fernandez to Delap. Achimpong. Quickly out to Estevao. First chance here to have a run at Bell. 3 step-overs. Left-footed effort from the edge of the box. Bell blocks it. Falls to Fernandez. Good save by Mannion. Low shot. And he's blocked it with his right foot. The ball comes away to the right and Chelsea can start to build again.
Yeah, it's been a better second half, really. A little bit more open. Charlton have had to come out because they went a goal down, and they did come out. And even with 2 goals down, they didn't give up in it. Yes, it's a much, much more open game. But because of those gaps, you look at Chelsea and you think you are capable of sneaking through and scoring another goal.
Here's Estevao again. Bell backs off. Estevao plays the pass, looks for the 1-2 with Fernandez. Bell got a touch. Estevao is onto it, into the penalty area, works it onto his right foot this time. And Lloyd Jones gets a crucial touch on the ball, stretches out a right leg, just as Estevao had a good sight of goal. And we're stopping play for the moment because Amari Bell is down hurt for Charlton. And he is going to need some treatment.
I think possibly could be A, tiredness, B, maybe a little bit of a strain as well. And I don't know if it's cramp or else he's actually pulled a muscle in the midst of that. I don't think there was any big coming together that I could see.
Or is it the old suffering from twisted blood? Whose phrase was that, Pat, about when you're facing tricky wingers? Someone once said, it's a great one, isn't it?
I've heard it used many times by many people. It's been a tough time for a number of those players in red, but to be fair, the manager will be proud of them because they've all stuck to it, they've all been brave, they've all wanted to try and get on the ball as much as possible. They've not been able to a lot of the time, but they've all been willing runners and capable. So, but at the moment there's a real chance that if they lose another goal, they could lose a few between now and the end of the game.
And, you know, Pat, in football, we're always sort of rushing to early judgments and everything is so kind of, you know, black or white and it's either great or it's rubbish or whatever. Let's make a reasoned judgment on what we've seen from this first game of football under Liam Rossini, this Chelsea team today.
Well, it's not made anything worse. I'll give you that. It looks nice, it's neat and tidy. But let's be honest about it. Liam Rossini is not going to be judged by how he does against Charlton. He's going to be judged about how he does against decent teams in the Champions League.
Yeah.
How he does against the Arsenals, Man Cities, Liverpools, etc., Aston Villas of this world. That's the teams that he's going to be judged against. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But what he has got is what looks like a good start. And he's got a great month. A month with a lot of games where he can see a lot of players.
Yeah.
4 home league games, 2 away league games, and one of them's Wolves, who haven't had a great season so far. So there's no easy route, but I'll tell you what, it's as friendly as it could be.
So Mari Bell is coming off, and Tanto Olaufa comes on for Charlton with 17 minutes plus added time remaining, and Chelsea leading by 3 goals to 1. Miles Leeburn's goal got it back to 2-1. Chelsea responded with the strike from Mark Guiu, and play is back underway here at the Valley.
Because of that injury, guess what? Poor Campbell.
Oh,
He's
no.
going back to left back again.
No, it's you again. Well, it's not you again. It's not Gittins. It's Estevao this time, but it's probably just as tricky and just as dangerous. Achimpong brings the ball up to the halfway line, stops, finds Caicedo. Back it comes to Tosin, one of the goal scorers for Chelsea tonight. Enzo Fernandez. Ball from him out to Estevao on the right, and that'll be one of the questions when we see more of Liam Rossini's lineups, where Cole Palmer might play, whether it'll be wide on the right with Enzo Fernandez in the number 10 or Cole Palmer in the number 10 and Enzo Fernandez a little bit deeper. Here is Fernandez on the ball, lovely first touch, and sees the Estevao run and finds him with a brilliant chip pass. Estevao drives the shot, and Mannion I think got a touch on that over the bar, and that's going to be a corner. Good save.
Do you know, that's his go-to finish, Estevao. I mean, he goes behind the defender. Again, it's Campbell because he's exhausted, clipped over the top. He's got absolute total control of the ball. But he goes for that top near corner time and time again. I've seen him score 2 or 3 goals like that. One against Chelsea in the World Club Championship.
One against Barcelona this season in the Champions League was finished like that. Emi Buendia on the other side actually for Aston Villa tonight scored like that. For Villa, the second goal against Spurs. That high finish at the near post, which possibly the goalkeeper's not expecting. That was a really, really good save by Will Mannion. Chelsea have taken their corner. They've played it short. Fernandez is now crossing from the right, looking for Badiashile at the far post. That is headed away. Achimpong is there first for Chelsea. 15 minutes to play. And Chelsea are heading through to the 4th round of the FA Cup as it stands, leading Charlton by 3 goals to 1. And Nathan Jones hasn't had much fun against Chelsea teams in the FA Cup of late, because twice as manager of Luton, came up against them in 2021 and 2022 and lost both of those games, and it looks like Charlton are going down as well this evening. Here's Gillespie, one of the Charlton subs, passing from the corner of the penalty area. It goes forward into midfield to Karoy Anderson, up towards the halfway line. Carey didn't get enough on the pass there. It's come to Caicedo. Caicedo looking for the run of Garnacho in behind. Volleyed away by Goff. Here is Carey. Carey plays to his right. Bree to Goff. Nice first time ball from Goff down the right to Carey. And this is good from Charlton. We probably need to get this ball in from the right hand side. Low cross comes in and Tosin stretches out left leg. Manages to block it for Chelsea. Chelsea will start to play out, but that's a poor pass from inside their own half. Carey bobbles a little pass back here to Bree, and Goff comes back to Lloyd Jones.
They look better now, don't they, Sean? They're holding the ball better, they're passing it better. There's more comfort on the ball. Just when the space is opened up a little bit, instead of Chelsea looking more comfortable, it's actually Charlton.
Here they come on the left. Tyrese Campbell in an attacking position. Back to Karoy Anderson. Jamaican international. Jamaica have a World Cup playoff to come in March, hoping to join England and Scotland, already qualified for the World Cup in the summer. Play New Caledonia in a first playoff game, and the winners go through to face a playoff final. So 2 games away from the World Cup for Jamaica.
You mean you could have Caledonia and New Caledonia in it?
Yeah. Here's Esteval. Esteval receives it from Fernandes, makes the run on the outside, cut back into the box, and Delap's missed it. Side-footed effort from 8 yards out. Brilliantly worked by Chelsea. He just couldn't apply the finish.
It looks so simple when players do the right thing. You know, Esteval gets the ball there. It doesn't look as if he's done much. So what he's done is he's put the ball down the right-hand side. He's cut in, and by cutting in, he's dragged the whole defence, which opens everything up. And because of that, you know, Enzo Fernandez gets to the byline, and he should finish it, Delap, when he goes into the box there. He tries to get it, misses it, fluffs it. It's the only way to describe it, and misses the chance. But it was the ease when everyone just does the right thing.
Campbell with his right foot for Charlton, high spinning ball. Caicedo controls it on the halfway line. Fernandes happy to play it back into his own half. Just talking the international football, just to bring you the scores from the Africa Cup of Nations today, quarterfinals, 2 of them. Nigeria, 2-0 winners against Algeria. So it's Nigeria against Morocco in one of the semi-finals, and Mo Salah scored for Egypt in a 3-2 win against Ivory Coast. So Egypt against Senegal in the other semi-final. A couple of high-quality games on the way there in Morocco. Fernandes bundled off the ball inside his own half. Lofted pass from the right boot of Rankin Costello. Controlled by Leeburn. Support on the outside. Low cross comes in, not the best from Bree. That was blocked by Badiashile. Goes out for a throw into Charlton. If they could get themselves another goal, could be a really interesting last 10 minutes.
And they're playing a really good style of football now. They were totally and utterly controlled for the entirety of the first half, but it was nothing like that now.
Anderson got past Garnacho, couldn't get past Santos, and now there's real trouble for Charlton because Esteval's got so much space to run into. Fernandes has found him. Delap's in the middle. What's Esteval going to do? He's going to go it alone and shoot, and Mannion saves. And Gillespie is there, and Esteval tries to make the tackle. It comes to Fernandes. Garnacho's waiting. Fernandes shoots, tipped over the bar by Mannion again, and it goes behind for a Chelsea corner. Chelsea will probably feel they should have scored a fourth.
They should have done, but you know, if you break at pace like that and you've got a man over, it must end up with a shot on target. Well, it does. It's up to shoot, 2 shots on target. Esteval, his was decent, a little bit too close to the goalkeeper, but Mannion did very well. And by the way, the most least surprising thing that's happened this entire night has just happened in front of us. Campbell's gone down exhausted because he's honestly, the work rate of that guy is ridiculous tonight. He has done the work of 3 players, and he looks to me as if just completely, absolutely ran out of gas. It looks like cramp, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, exactly, Pat. A couple of the Charlton medical staff are there with him. He's sitting down inside the Charlton half. Charlton are waiting to defend a Chelsea corner. I'm glad this game isn't going to extra time. 10 minutes to play. This fog is thickening.
It really is coming in quite quickly. I can remind you, it's one other ground that this happens at, and I think Charlton fans will be delighted with the comparison. This happens at the San Siro a lot. It really does, and it comes over with the stand in front of where the commentary is looking onto, and it's like a sea coming over it. But that's what it's like here now. It's getting very misty in here.
Yeah, it's been brilliant to be back at the Valley again, providing commentary on 5 Live this evening. Another fantastic atmospheric English football ground, perfect for a night like tonight. Charlton 1, Chelsea 3, all decked out in red and white. The pre-match show was quite something. The fireworks, the noise.
Substitution for the Addicts.
Another substitution coming for Charlton. So Tyrese Campbell is coming off. Really put a shift in for Charlton, as Pat Nevin has been saying. Harvey Nibbs will come on. He's in his first season at the club, having joined from Reading. Lots of goals he's scored for Reading in the last couple of seasons. 3 goals for Charlton so far. Can he make a name for himself?
Chelsea haven't finished yet either with their substitutions.
Oh, they're not. So, well spotted, Pat.
It's not good news if you're a Charlton fan.
No, Pedro Neto is coming on shortly, and so is Wesley Fofana. Again, all the Chelsea players shooed away by the corner taker. In it comes to the near post. Achimpong looks for the flick on. Might drop here to Harto again. Can't quite bring it under control. Alaufa gets a touch. Now goes chasing, sprinting downfield. Jorgensen lets it bounce twice. Clever little cushion header to himself. He's miles out of his goal here, but played the right pass to Caicedo, who had his back. And Chelsea work it down the right to Achimpong. So we're into the last 10 minutes of the game. Hope you've enjoyed the FA Cup coverage on BBC Radio 5 Live. Plenty more coming your way tomorrow. 12 o'clock Derby Leeds. Mark Chapman hosts the show. We're on air from 11:30. Portsmouth Arsenal's the commentary at 2 o'clock on 5 Live, early 6:06 at 5 o'clock, and 2 other FA Cup ties on Sports Extra and Sports Extra 2 are West Ham QPR and Norwich Walsall. But we'll keep you up to date with absolutely everything you need to know.
I would say one thing that you've just seen from Liam Rosinha. The goalkeeper, well, I'll tell you about that in a moment.
Yeah, Esteval's ball looks really good. Nod down. Delap fires it with his left foot. Great block by Keenan Goff, who quickly clears the ball away.
Do you know the goalkeeper in the centre, in the halfway line?
Yeah.
And he does a little back flick and he plays like a centre back. That's Rosinha.
Yeah.
That's what he does with his goalkeepers. They always ask them to be an extra centre back and play very, very high.
Great football from Charlton. They've worked their way through the Chelsea midfield. Sonny Carey racing away, left-footed shot, big deflection. It's awkward for Jorgensen. Bounced in front of him, throws himself to his right, keeps it in play, and there he is again with his feet outside his area, but off his line. Gillespie drives it straight at goal, and Jorgensen's back in time, runs in to catch the ball. He appeared from stage right and got there just in time.
The upside and the downside of playing a goalkeeper as a centre-back in a few seconds there, because he goes out very, very well, he wins the ball, keeps it in his feet, passes it out, but passes it to an opposition player. But he was quick enough to get back, but it will be herum-scarum now in a game when the goalkeeper plays that far out his goal.
Yeah, OK. Philip Jorgensen and Robert Sanchez are going to be asked to play plenty with their feet. Nice strike from Gillespie as well. In golfing terms, that was the stinger. He kept the ball down well and just trusted the strike, but it didn't have quite enough pace on it to beat the retreating goalkeeper. So, Pedro Neto's coming on for Alejandro Garnacho. Wait for the reaction for him as he leaves the field. Right on cue, fairly predictable.
Fairly predictable, totally predictable.
Very predictable. And Wesley Fofana will come on for Jarell Hato. 6 minutes to go.
It's worth talking about Hato as well, because he's played that left back position. Obviously Chelsea have got a player there who's not bad at it. Kukurea is amazing, and it's not just the fact he plays left back, but he goes and plays in that central midfield area sometimes, and he goes and he attacks, and he's a danger going forward. Well, Hato did all that today, and it underlines that not a lot has changed with the new manager and the new style. It's exactly the same sort of thing that we've done beforehand.
Throw in then for Charlton, trailing 3-1, just over 5 minutes to play. Karoy Anderson, ball into the edge of the Chelsea area. Chelsea going to be dangerous on the break now with the pace of Neto, but they've lost it here. Here's Alaufa on the right, low cut back. Lloyd Jones is going to hit it. Enzo Fernandez makes the challenge. Referee Christopher Kavanagh had a really clear view of that, had a think, and decided that wasn't a penalty. We'll wait to see the replay on our monitor. That could have made things very interesting. Esteval wants the ball, loads of space to work with, again on the right. Fernandez looks up and sees him. Ball bounces 2 times, reaches Esteval, and now again he's running at Anderson, beats Anderson, takes it across the face of the area, low shot, swerving in the air. Mannion gets it down, palms it away, and it's cleared away by Charlton, only as far as Badiashile nods it down to Neto.
Well, if the ball's actually stayed in place, so we're not going to see this replay. I have to say it looked like a penalty to me. It really did. We're a lot further away. It's misty.
Really misty.
It's difficult to see, but we'll only know, and VAR's not going to help here at any point in time because there isn't any. So Charlton fans will be moaning about a couple of decisions the referee's given today.
Extra time could have been a real struggle in this game tonight. It's an old-fashioned pea super. Fernandez, woeful strike with his right foot, badly sliced off target, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Charlton. Charlton 1, Chelsea 3.
Look down, the referee's getting he'll not get another look at it as well. Just as I don't know, I can't look at it, and he's just about to hit the ball, and he's going to do that. I think Enzo Fernandez comes in behind him and stops his foot lashing at the ball.
Yeah.
So there's contact. Fernandez doesn't get the ball first, does he?
Yeah. Jones kicks the floor, which also takes him down. But like you say, he can't have a free swing of his right foot. He kicks the floor first of all.
Yeah, but why does he kick the floor?
Yeah.
It's because the ball has been kicked slightly from behind. Difficult one, that. I've seen them given.
3.5 minutes to go. Pat Nevin, FA Cup finalist with Everton back in 1989, has been enjoying the action with us tonight. Liam Rossini's first game in charge of Chelsea, and it looks like it's going to be a win. The next one is at home to Arsenal Wednesday night, first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. You'll be able to hear it in full on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But more FA Cup football coming your way tomorrow. And if you're a rugby fan, plenty of rugby union commentaries from the Champions Cup tomorrow as well. Harlequin Stormers at 1 on Sports Extra 3. Bordeaux against Northampton at 3:15, also on Sports Extra 3. It'll be on Sports Extra as well from 4:30. Saracens Toulouse looks like a good game. Sports Extra at 5:30 tomorrow. Here's Esteval. Probably couldn't see through the mist there. Tried to find a pass that just wasn't on. Anderson made the block. Santos flicks a little ball to his left. But on the far side of the field to us, it's actually now getting really difficult to see the players.
From here, the good thing is, though, for the referee and for the players, they can see everything. When down there, you only need to see half the park most of the time. So they'll be okay, but for us, it's not that clear. But there's no doubt the game is going to be finished. There's no doubt.
Yeah, game will finish. And it looks like Chelsea are going through. Big story of the day, you must have heard, one of the biggest stories in the FA Cup ever. 145th season of this great competition, and the biggest difference in terms of league placing, in terms of a giant killing ever today. Macclesfield from National League North beating the holders Crystal Palace by 2-1. Highlights on the way. Match of the day at 10:40. Well worth a watch and well worth a listen again if you want to via the BBC Sounds app. Just click that stations and schedules button, look for the day you want, the time you want. So that's obviously 12:15 today, and you can listen to the whole thing back again, particularly the key moments, the goals and the final whistle, the reaction, all the post-match stuff. Absolutely fantastic today.
I mean, we hear the excitement in commentators, but John Murray went an octave higher than usual there.
He did. No, he was in his element, John. He was enjoying it. Did a fantastic job. Here's a Laufer doing a good job for Charlton. Holds off Tosin. Tries a back heel. Can't find Carey. Foul on Caicedo. Oh, come on, ref, is the... well, I've sort of paraphrased that. I think it was something else, ref, that's come from the Charlton fans behind. That will be a free kick for Chelsea.
He knows how to win a free kick, doesn't he, Caicedo? He's very good at it.
Yeah.
Puts his body away, takes a hit, goes down, and just kills the ball going forward. We're talking about Chelsea players. I mean, who's going to stay in the first team? You know, when you come to the big games from this group of players that have started. Well, I have to say Tosin's not put a foot wrong tonight. I think he's been super. Very, very strong. Won everything. Got a real confidence bordering on arrogance in his play at the back there tonight. So certainly he's one player who may well have broken into the thoughts of the new manager.
Chelsea's last domestic trophy in terms of trying to win silverware for Liam Rossini, whatever he set his sights on, was the FA Cup back in 2018 under Antonio Conte. Since then, they've won the Europa League, Chelsea, the Champions League, the Europa Conference League last season, the UEFA Super Cup, and 2 Club World Cups, but they've lost their last 6 major domestic finals. They're going through to the 4th round tonight. 3 minutes to play. They're leading Charlton 3-1. 3 minutes of added time to play. We've just moved into that. Delap was looking for a free kick. He didn't get it. Rankin Costello's run into trouble. And here come Chelsea looking for a 4th. Enzo Fernandez dribbling at defenders. Passes to his left-hand side. Neto tees himself up all the time in the world and fires it in low and finds the back of the net and definitely takes Chelsea through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. You'd put it down as a very satisfactory start for Liam Rossini. Charlton 1, Chelsea 4.
The way Chelsea broke there, you just saw that the Charlton players had nothing left. They couldn't get back. And when it was the perfect ball played wide by Fernandez, it was a temptation for him to shoot himself. But no, he plays the correct ball there. When it gets to Neto, he's got one chance to shoot, a second chance to shoot, and he takes the second chance, and it is rifled. I think that's the only way to describe that. Rifled into the bottom corner.
Perfect description, because by saying that word, you can now precisely picture the type of shot that Pedro Neto has scored that goal with.
Yeah, 4-1, and it's probably the right result, considering the whole match with the absolute dominance Chelsea had in the first period. And you can see what Charlton were trying to do. They were defending very, very deep, trying to hold on, get the odd break, get the odd set piece. When they went 2-0 down, they had to change the game plan and had to open it a little bit. The problem is, you do that at Chelsea, which we suggested might happen, you will be cut open, and indeed they have.
Yeah, Liam Rossini will be rightfully delighted with the way his team have played, with the way they have punished Charlton the way they have eventually taken their chances. The crucial goal, the first, of course, just before half-time, beautifully struck by Jarell Harto, but as Pat says, totally deserving of the win and probably the margin of victory too. 1 minute left in the game. Ball is played out by the Chelsea keeper, Philip Jorgensen, to the right. Enzo Fernandez is there. Liam Rossini's been able to bring so much quality off the bench. Here they come again. Oh, fabulous layoff from Delap to Estevao. Estevao into that penalty area, switches to the right foot. Mannion's caught him. That's going to be a penalty right at the end of the game. Mannion immediately comes running to the referee to protest his innocence. I thought Estevao had done a little bit too much there, but Mannion possibly has just got there a second too late. Estevao smiles, he's sitting down in the box. Chelsea have a penalty.
So what's happened here, I've not seen the replay yet, but as a one-on-one with keeper, all you do is get it away from the keeper and take the hit. That's all you do. And there's a big difference between that and diving. That's not diving, that's flicking it away, and you know you're going to get hit, and there's no argument about that. The referee has to give that. The referee in no way in the world can give anything else other than a penalty kick there, because the keeper doesn't get the ball and he does get the kick.
Yep, exactly right. So, could be a fifth goal for Chelsea. A resounding win on the way for Liam Rossinia. Whether this penalty goes in or not, Enzo Fernandez will be desperate for a goal. The Chelsea fans are right behind the back of the net. Will Mannion waits on the goal line. Missed rolling in around the valley, and Enzo finds the bottom corner. Powerful strike with his right foot, and Chelsea have thumped Charlton in the FA Cup. Tougher test to come for the new manager Liam Rossinia. He goes marching down the touchline, exchanges a high five with Nathan Jones, made 8 changes to the Chelsea team tonight, and played a lot of the players who haven't had a massive amount of starts in the first team this season, but they have rewarded him with a fine win, and we've got a little taste of what we can expect from Liam Rossinia's Chelsea. They're through to the fourth round, Pat Nevin, and they've won comfortably in the end by 5-1.
Yeah, the crew said maybe a little bit harsh, 5-1 on Charlton with the effort they put in. But if you're going to be absolutely honest about it, did it look in doubt at any point in time? The answer being no. Chelsea totally dominated the first half, but we're only 1-0 up, go 2-0 up right at the start of the second half, and then Charlton have a little bit of a go. But it's that classic one, you're caught between a rock and a hard place if you're Charlton. If you open up against this Chelsea, the quality of players they've got, not only in the pitch, but are going to come on as well, you know you're going to get ripped apart. And to be fair, they were shredded by the end of this game, particularly right at the end. They have no way, they shouldn't be embarrassed. They shouldn't be, because they worked so hard. But I think Rossinia, he learned a lot about his players today, the ones that are more, inverted commas, fringe. There's quite a few I'll be pleased with.
It's been a fantastic day of FA Cup third round football on 5 Live. The one real upset, the massive upset, the monster upset, came at Macclesfield early on in the day, but plenty of other stories to tell. 10 goals for Manchester City, and here at the Valley, all about Liam Rossinia's first game in charge, and his young stars have done him proud. Goal scorers, Harto, Tosin, Guiu, Neto and Enzo from the penalty spot at the end. The Chelsea players away to our right as the fog rolls in. Take the applause from the Chelsea fans. Miles Leaburn got the goal for Charlton. It made it 2-1 at that point, but as Pat Nevin says, Chelsea were never really in trouble. They're through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. Charlton 1, Chelsea 5.
A sigh of relief for Chelsea's board, the fans, and of course Liam Rossinia himself. It just kind of sucks the unwanted noise out